So, welcome to session 31. So, previously, Raging Ire competed in the Martial Tournament, expert rank, and won the championship. For winning, you won 500 silvers and an invitation to the Valenstar celebration of Gadrak on Nibbin Day 5th of Celium. However, unlike the other winners, the entire expedition team was invited to the celebration. Meanwhile, you uncovered the poison weapon meant to be used to commit the murder. It appears that House Rotau had hired mercenaries or non-House warriors to compete against House Fairmar. One of those didn't seem to know about the plot, but Durag, the other, attempted to kill the Fairmar noble. One of the people in the crowd seemed to be acting suspiciously, though he was dressed plainly. Pico marked his hair with colored powder. When trying to track the suspicious spectator, he...
That wasn't colored powder. That was my prestidigitation spell.
Okay. I thought you had marked him with some sort of powder in his hair.
No, the prestidigitation will allow me to make a mark on somebody magically.
Okay. Anyway, so you marked him magically. However, when you tried to track him, it was like he vanished in thin air. You were completely unable to track him despite every ability to do so. You were rewarded for stopping the murder, and the murderer was apprehended. You discovered that the sword and shield symbol is a sigil for the Blackstone Blade, a well-known weapon shop. You also discovered information about the other guild item that you had discovered. And after completing the tournament and getting your rewards, you moved on to the Blackstone Blade in order to investigate, and that's where we'll start. All right, let me go ahead and change maps. Okay. So everybody should see the map. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I'm in darkness.
You got to scroll down.
It's because you don't have dark vision now.
Yeah, I can see now.
Okay. That's good. All right, so you've moved on to the Blackstone Blade. So what are you going to do?
What time of day is it?
It is dark. So it's probably around 6:30 or so, but the sun set a little bit early in this season.
Can I look through Char's eyes?
Okay. What are you looking for?
I'm going to do a flyby to see what I can see and kind of give a narrative.
Okay. So what you can go ahead and do is just go ahead and move your character around as he flies.
Okay. All right, move Char around.
No, you can just move your character around. We know it's Char. You're just looking.
All
Obviously, right. Char can't enter the building, but you do notice, or he does notice, that the window is open and there is light spilling out. He also notices a sign on the door that says closed. Go ahead.
Okay. He flies over this way.
As he flies toward the back, he sees a back alley, and he doesn't see anybody present. However, he does notice that he does notice a lot of debris, some broken barrels and boxes.
Is that really a dead body in the trash?
No, it's just trash.
Okay.
Water barrels. He notices that by the back door there's a couple of potted plants. Although one thing that's interesting as he's flying by is due to his passive perception, he notices that one of the potted plants has dirt around it, all on kind of like one side, whereas the other potted plant does not. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Two plants are flanking the back doors, guys. One of them looks odd. Might be something to investigate. The back alley has a exit on the other side of the building.
Yep. And then you fly around and you come back to the street. And as you're flying around as Char, you hear the sound of hammer on metal coming from the inside.
Okay. And I see one ugly guy with a mohawk behind the counter on the inside of the shop.
Oh wait, I did the wrong thing. There you go. So you should all see what he looks like.
Whoa.
That is a beefy man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, you return, or Char returns, and so what do you do?
Well, we know of the quick conversation, well, the quick chat I had with the guard with you guys present that the person probably running this place is called Milo. That's what I've got on here. Is that the accurate name,
You got
Jeremy?
Gamilo.
Camilo. Thank you. Camilo. And so maybe as a bit of a cover, some of our more chatty friends in the group can try and have a casual conversation, or maybe you just happen to hear about his shop and want to know more, while some of us kind of scope out the area a bit closer.
Sounds like a possibility. Although, as late as it is there any indication the shop is actually open?
There's a sign on the door saying it's closed. The Char noticed that flying by.
Yeah.
If we decide to try that, we'd have to do that tomorrow.
Isn't the whole thing happening tonight?
Yeah, so
Wait, what part's happening tonight? I was under the impression that we already stopped the assassination.
the murder, but there's some post-murder meeting and stuff like that that's going down. So there's still some activity. I mean, so presumably they would have originally decided, okay, the murder succeeded, here's what we're doing next. Instead, their meeting's going to probably be about, well, that sucked. What are we going to do about it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Do
Well,
we know how many people orchestrated this?
more than two.
Okay, because I was gonna say, how hard would it be for me to like maybe just try to impersonate one of them?
Perhaps we should do a little more investigation on the back
Yeah.
door or alternate ways into the building, yeah? I think Oreo might be particularly helpful here.
Yep. I'll go ahead and go in stealth, start making my way through the back alley.
Okay,
I
go.
will go in stealth, but I'm following at your show.
Okay, both of you go ahead and make your stealth checks. Okay, you proceed, and you don't notice any change in the sounds around you. So go ahead.
Anything that catches our eye as we're passing by, more specifically within, like in the surroundings?
Yeah, you do see a lot of trash and boxes, and there seems to be some buildings in the back. The main thing that kind of sticks out is probably going to be that same plant, mainly because the two plants are different.
Yeah, that's
To
right here.
which of the two plants is it, though, Ragu?
Was it the left one or the right one there?
It is the right one that had the dirt, but only on one side of the plant.
So I'll start very cautiously approaching. What I don't know is if this box here is.
It looks like a closed wooden box.
I'll just carefully go around it and then to make my way to the plant itself and just start checking it out a bit closer. Does it look like it's hiding something underneath it, or if it's a type sort of trap? Anything?
Well, looking at it, you see, like I said, on the right side, you see that there's some dirt, and if you're looking at the plant, the container, the dirt seems to all be shifted to one side. But
So it's like,
without touching it, there's not much more to see.
so it looks like somebody had dug half the plant out looking for something.
Possibly. Can you come? Are you? You said you were following, right? You said you're like by me,
Yes.
or okay? So can you do a mage hand to just pull out the plant just a bit, hover it over, just so I can take a closer look in?
Alas, mage hand is not in my repertoire. However,
Right.
I grab out a pair of long tongs from my tinker's kit, and I grab the base of the plant with my tongs, so I'm not touching it, and I gently lift it up some, so you can look.
So are you lifting the plant out of the pot, or are you lifting the pot?
No, the
Uh,
plant, right? That we
yeah,
don't want to touch the pot itself.
I grab the plant by its little trunk or
Okay,
base
yeah,
or
you pull
whatever,
out
and
the plant, some dirt falls down um, back into the pot, but the plant itself looks normal, and the inside of the plant, inside of the pot looks normal. Meanwhile, what is everybody else doing?
Just listening for any signs of activity and actually looking around. Well, I'm probably not going to have any luck with this, but um, I'm trying to think what I would look for. I'm trying to get an idea if actually how much of a head start did the guy have leaving the arena?
It's hard to say. Probably about 15 minutes or so.
Okay, so unless he was like super slow or did something else first, there's no way we'd have gotten here first. Well, yeah, I'll just keep an eye out unless anybody else has got any ideas.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Anybody else in that group? All right. Well, back to Oreo and Ragu. So you've lifted out the plant. You're looking inside the pot. The pot hasn't been touched or moved. The inside of the pot just has dirt, as far as you can tell. So what are you going to do?
I tell Ragu to keep the plant in the air for a second, and now I move the pot around to checking to see if there's anything underneath.
Okay. You move the pot around, and underneath, you notice a folded up piece of paper, which I am going to show you now.
oh,
You should now see it on your screen.
Yep. Okay, cool. Let's see. All right. Okay, cool. I set it back down and tell her to go ahead and leave the plant down and say we need to meet up with the others.
Okay.
okay. Do we leave the piece of paper here for the
No,
person it's intended
well,
for?
yeah. Well, I'll leave it back. I'll
Now
leave.
that we know, I I can make a photocopy with minor illusion.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. So that way we leave the note intact. I leave it as it was, even in the manner that it was folded and everything. And then once everything is set down, we go back to the group.
Okay. You do
Okay.
so. Since you stopped to interact with that, I'll have you guys make another stealth check.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a 27 and 19. Okay, you guys return without any changes that you can detect from the inside.
I'm assuming the Dragoon's coming down, but once he's with us, then
I
he can show you guys the copy of something we found that might tell us we don't need to be here tonight, and better yet, we should not be asking any questions. Now, I don't know if the note got shared with everybody. Jeremy did.
It should have.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it here. Well, actually, maybe there is somebody who should stick around. Um, what if we have Char hang around to see who actually finds that note?
well, what is today?
30th of something, I forget the month.
It's the
So
first now. First Celium first.
so the 4th is 3 days from now. So the person we're
Mm,
looking for will be here at midnight in 3 days, as long as that note stay there and we do not go inside to ask questions.
Right.
We have
But
3 days to ambush him,
but
maybe.
the person telling who left this note didn't leave it for himself.
No,
He's
he left it for the other people, but the person who left this note is the one we are looking for. Yes.
he's a person we're looking for, but if he's working with somebody else, we might want to know who they are. So it would be nice if Char could maybe keep an eye out and see who intercepts that note. If they just come out with the note, go back in, we know it's somebody here. But if somebody shows up out of nowhere and then walks off or whatever, then that's also interesting.
That's a very good idea. I'm not leaving. Char is, but I just need to see.
Okay.
Char can actually just kind of take up a post sitting up here on the roof somewhere where he gets an excellent view and won't really be noticed. Just an owl sitting on a roof is not a big deal. Yeah, that's only if they even notice him. If there's like a chimney he can stand next to, he might go completely unnoticed, just sitting there, and he can watch the plant here to see who does what.
Fair enough. And yeah, there is a chimney with smoke coming out, so.
Okay. Yep. He can kind of stand half behind that, keep an eye out, be unnoticed.
Does anybody think that may be too much of a risk for any reason?
I'm thinking.
Same.
Okay.
Okay. And when Char gets a good look at the person who grabs the note, he can kind of telepathically send it to me, and I would be able to produce a small likeness in the form of a minor illusion.
Actually, that's a good question because you would only be able to get that good of a look if you're seeing through his eyes. While he can telepathically talk to you, I'm not sure if he can give you that kind of detail.
Perhaps I might have to be close by too.
He
Yeah,
probably would. He probably would though be able to tell you general details like, oh, he's roughly this tall, he has this color hair, he's a human or a dwarf or whatever he is, that kind of thing.
All right. So could I use minor illusion, kind of like a police sketch artist would, and be able to come up with a good likeness with Char's input?
Yeah, a general likeness, not a specific likeness. Like for example, you could say, oh, if he's a 5 foot tall human with black hair, well, that narrows things down. But there are still potentially multiple people who are 5 feet tall and have black hair. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. So and what is this neighborhood again?
It is. Hold on. Sorry, I had it in my, I guess the other notes. Here it is. It's in the Southwest Marketplace District, so 21.5 on the map.
All
For
right.
what it's worth, what they actually look like is not quite as important as where they came from and where they went. If that conspirator just pops out of the shop and then right back in, that tells us something. If the person comes up from somewhere else to find that note, then they may go somewhere else, and having Char follow from a distance may lead us to some valuable location.
Okay, is that what we're doing then? I thought I might have to find an alley around the side of this building somewhere to hide in and pretend to be a bum so I could psychically monitor Char, but that's a much easier night for me.
Okay. All right. So, if you've made your plan, what are you going to do next?
How much time do we have? I know we have to meet Jared.
Like I said, it's probably 6:30 to 7. Probably 7 by now, since you guys were kind of sneaking around and trying to be quiet and talking and everything. Now, of course, if you want, we can always fast forward, so don't feel like you have to fill the time.
Hold on, there is something I want to check first. Let's see. What's this one? Nope, not that one. Cultist letter. Shop is coming Rishidas. Are there any other shops nearby?
There are. There's this is the only weapons shop nearby, but this is the marketplace district, so you'll be able to find other, other shops, like tailors and people selling tools and carpentry, that kind of thing.
Is there actually anything in this area open right now then, or is it all closed?
Seems to be all closed. You're not sure. You don't think that they necessarily always close this early, but you suspect it might have something to do with the tournament ending today.
So I'm debating. Well, okay, hold on. Let's see. Yeah, I guess it's a little bit tricky because okay, so it's first they left the note, but it hasn't been found yet. Then I wonder what time they were originally going to meet, because yeah, it just said on the Suma day after the festival, which is right now. But saying that they were detained longer than expected suggests that the meeting time already passed. So they left a note that could be found anytime later. Yeah, Char is probably the best, but I was trying to debate on whether it was worth trying to stake the place out for a couple hours or something in case there was some activity, but that's probably more trouble than it's worth. So we probably should just go get dinner or something like that, and then
And
be
Char's
good.
instructions are to watch for the letter, and if somebody comes out of the shop, picks it up, and goes back in the shop, uh, he gets as good as a look as he can, comes back and tells me. And if somebody approaches from somewhere else to get the letter, then Char is to follow them discreetly until they go into another building, and then fly back and tell us where that building is.
Yes.
All right. So your token is currently at basically the location where that building is, which is 21.5. It's this marketplace on the map. So what are you going to do next?
Well, like I said, we could go to our usual place for dinner.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, you go, and when you arrive, hold on, where is it? You arrive. I'm sorry, I was looking for the map, which seems to have vanished. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, you arrive and you notice that this place is once again hopping and busy, and it's probably been long enough now that Toulouse has finished packing up, and you notice that she's sitting at the table eating. So what do you do?
Uh, I guess I will make my way over and say hello. I'll tell the guys I'll be back.
Okay, you show up, and as she waves as you're arriving, and says, "Oh, I wasn't sure you'd be back this soon. How did your hunt go?"
Not completely over, but we'll see how it goes. It's in progress.
Well, at least you're keeping yourself alive, or safe, I should say.
Yeah, how did things finish up at the festival?
Pretty boring. Just packed up everything. Once the festival's over, there wasn't a lot of shopping. Most people seem to be tired. It was a long day.
Exciting out of the arena after things were starting to close shop.
Oh, something weird happened there because there was a bunch of guards that showed up, and before you left, there were some people that were there were some people that were hauled away by guards. So something happened.
Huh. Weird, crazy things, right?
Yeah, can't go through a tournament without one noble house trying to kill another.
Well then, I will not take up more of your time. Just figured I wanted to stop by, say thank you again, and maybe I'll swing by before next training and whatnot at the guild.
All right then. Well, if you anything comes of the information, I'm curious, so let me know.
Will do.
All right.
I'll make my way through the middle here, just kind of trying to keep an ear out, just to see if there's any conversations that open up or that seem interesting.
Well, one thing that you notice as you're going through is that the raging ire seems to be the buzz right now. It seems that everybody is excited that that they somehow won the expert ranks, and there's also some rumors going around apparently that they got a special invitation to the celebration, which is almost unheard of.
Is there curiosity if there's any word on more protests against the Lumev stuff, or it's been quiet down since then?
It's nobody's talking about protests at the moment, but it hasn't been very long, so it's hard to tell if that means anything.
Cool. Yep, well, I go back to the table then.
All right. So you guys order your meals, and you get your meals and your drink. So are you guys doing? What are you guys doing as you're eating?
Oh, yes, I am almost forgetting. I do have a question to be asking you, Devak.
Yes.
I have found a small silver ring, and I've been meaning to ask you about it. Just a second, I'll go ahead and cut and paste it, and Jeremy can tell you whether or not you can tell me about it.
Okay.
Oh, in the meantime, Ragu, I almost forgot.
Yes.
Once you came in, the innkeeper handed you a letter, and it's that letter I shared with you last session at the end.
Oh, excellent. Gimble's letter, yes. All right. I've been carrying this for a while. I've meant to ask you about it, Devak.
Um.
So, yeah, Devok, you're looking at it, and if you remember, you got a special ring that you wear in order
Yeah.
to be taught necromancy at the guild, and
Yeah.
they recognize each other based on this ring. So that's basically a preliminary. You belong, but only kind of like on a trial basis. You're not really a member, a
Provisionally.
provisional member. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I explained that to Ragu.
Oh, do you mind if I am keeping this? I mean, perhaps at some point in the future, a spell of your particular skills might be useful to myself as well. Maybe I be learning it with this.
Perhaps. I don't know if you'll run into any complications with that, but you can try.
Perhaps. Just thought to keep my options open. You have some very amazing magics, my friend. I figure if I could learn a trick or two.
For sure.
All right.
All right, so I can just call this a necromancer club ring or something then.
Sure.
All right. Okay.
It does seem to have a small amount of magic to it, but you suspect, given that, it's probably just identification kind of magic.
So, Galen,
Yes.
tomorrow we have a
Oh yeah, we have a meeting.
meeting, yeah. So don't forget.
I will not. He wants us to. Where does he want us to meet him again? Is it just at the
Uh,
church midday?
Let me read the note again because I don't remember.
Uh, did you help?
Yeah, the temple. Yeah.
Yeah, temple midday.
He said after the festival, as soon as possible at midday. So yeah, tomorrow is after the festival and
Awesome.
midday.
Yeah, so the Temple of Gadrak is in the Temple District, 22.2 on the map.
Gotcha.
I'm going to go ahead and look around. Does anybody seem to be looking our direction?
They did. You did notice some people looking your direction when you came in, and perhaps the buzz around the raging ire intensified a bit once Ire and Ragu walked in. But since then, people have gone back to their own drinks and food and continue to talk amongst themselves.
Sigh. Fame is so fleeting.
Yeah, I wonder who those raging ire guys are.
They sound pretty cool, I must say. Yes, eh?
Mm-hmm.
It's too bad I was wearing the full metal armor and the full face helmet when I was fighting. Nobody'll know it was me. Not like they can't tell a 7'6" tall person.
They seem to know it was you.
Yeah, I don't.
At least they when they see you with the automata, any
I,
sort of doubts are quashed.
I think it'd be pretty
Okay.
hard for them to recognize me. You know, I'm not very distinguishable from a crowd or anything.
True.
Yeah, well, I heard one's a glorified tinker toy and the other's half the man he's supposed to be.
uh,
Alrighty,
it didn't come out very well, but it was supposed to be a big hearty laugh.
fair enough. All right. Are you going to do anything else this evening? You can, if you want to continue your conversation, you can. If you want to fast forward time, you can.
Ragu, since well, actually, Fuck, you're also a wizard, right?
Yes.
Maybe one of you'd be able to answer a question for me. So I've heard about scrying magic, but I
You're
really
echoing,
haven't.
and I can't really understand you.
Yeah, either you're echoing or getting feedback.
Hold on. The other computer is muted, so
Oh, it works now.
okay.
Okay.
I
What we
didn't do
said?
anything.
Weird.
So anyway, I've heard about scrying magic. Was really fuzzy about how it worked. For scrying magic, if you're using it, do you actually kind of see directly to whatever it is, or do you actually look through an object like a pool or crystal ball or something like that to actually see things?
I have never had any form of scrying magic, so I wouldn't know.
No, wait a second. Can I explain it to him, Jeremy?
Sure.
Okay. You have to tell me how it works in this world then, I guess. Is it actually like a pool of water or a glass mirror so you're looking through a monitor, or is it mental and only the caster can see?
The spells do use stuff like that for the material components.
Yeah, I mean, if the spell uses a pool of water as the material component, then what I would say is you would be looking at the pool of water.
So that means like if you've got 3 people standing next to you, they can all look at the pool of water and see it as well.
Let me see. Give me an example
Kind of
of
like
one of the spells.
Sleeping Beauty's mirror on the wall. The spell itself is called scrying.
Okay.
Or like scrying with a crystal ball whenever the
Here we go.
gypsy is sitting there in front of the crystal ball and you and her can both see what's happening in the crystal ball.
Okay, so it says you can see and hear a particular creature, which indicates that only the mage can see it. So they may be looking into a pool of water, and to them they see whatever it is they're trying to see, but everybody
If
else just
somebody else
sees
is
a pool of
standing
water.
next to them. Okay, so it's not like a TV monitor.
Right.
Okay. I basically explained it.
All right. Well, that satisfies that little bit of curiosity. Well, I guess it's probably only been about an hour. We still got about 4 to kill before the meeting. Although, I don't know, Ira, do you need to get your gamble on?
No, I think I satisfied it at the festival.
What about you, Galen? You missed your opportunity to play some fun games on day 2.
I do not gamble, but thank you.
Really?
Nope.
I think
for
he is
me.
in denial.
I don't really
Perhaps
care
they-
for money. It's not that interesting to me.
It's not about the money. It's about the rush, the risk. You know.
Huh. Fair enough. Just not for me, I guess.
Alrighty then.
Well, I guess we could go to the Golden Dice early or just spend a couple hours to rest up. I'm sure Ira's got to buff the scratches out of his paint.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we go to the Golden Dice early, perhaps we can get more interesting gossip. This room seems to be talking mostly about us. We already know that because we were there.
Hey, does anybody know somebody that like a automaton brain expert? You know, because I'm a little worried about these guys in my head.
Are they still there?
Yeah, but they've gone dark.
Would this be too
Oh.
complicated for artificers?
Yeah, you wouldn't even know where to begin. And in fact, given that the other automata are going to be in the same boat you are in, Ire, none of them are going to be experts on themselves. And even the people who've been studying it for a long time are probably nowhere near the point where they can start figuring out how the automata brain works. You're not going to have any luck, I think.
I disagree. Those people actually know a lot about that. Problem is they're all dead.
Yeah, fair. Well, maybe Devar can help with that.
Maybe, but I don't know.
So, Devok, you have to. When do you get to start putting some of your plans in motion?
I think tomorrow night. Day is it?
Wait, what plans do you have?
Yeah, well, what's going on
I
here?
have to do a thing. I have a mission
Now I understand completely.
that unlocks resources.
Huh.
Don't you see, Galen? He has a plan and a mission, and all that
He's
jazz.
interviewing for a leadership position.
Oh, okay.
If all goes well, he'll have some boneheaded lackeys under his command.
Exactly.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Where is the calendar?
What?
Where is the calendar?
It's on World Anvil somewhere.
I need to find what day
Hold
it is.
on, I can post a link to it.
After we clean up the stuff for our guilds, though, if we are still in the city, we should continue to work on our equality movement. We haven't touched on that in a while.
Yeah.
Traveling.
We gotta do that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, equality for automatas, man.
Yeah. Equality for all.
Wait. Okay. Hey, did I get a document about my event?
Uh-oh.
I don't think they actually gave you a specific document. They just told you where to go, basically an old gnarled tree by the necropolis at midnight. And gave you a description of who to meet.
At midnight of what day?
The
Sigma
first.
day? And that's today.
I'm sorry, not the first. Hold on, let me check. I have it
He
written
lost.
down.
He lost his invitation.
Oh, sorry. The second it was the closest one. So the America Day.
Okay.
America Day.
American Day. Yeah.
Yeah. So
God bless America.
you were you were basically told that you would be tested to determine if you were qualified to become a full member, and then if you are, then the following day there would be a ceremony where you'd get full access.
Yeah.
So they're gonna test your healing abilities?
Yes, exactly.
Well, I'm lucky. I don't really have to do too many tests for my healing abilities.
Yeah, you're a lucky man.
I'm pretty sure his is more ambitious, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will be extremely severe wounds. He would be
Yeah, I'm
healing.
kind of like the ER person. He's more like a surgeon.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to think more like triage.
Same
Yeah,
thing.
you could.
Triage. That sounds like the botanist at the Druid Circle. All right. Well, I guess if we don't have any other crazy pending plans, we can go to the Golden Dice early. Maybe Jackson can get us a good seat.
Fair enough.
Or perhaps a punch in the face.
Oh, you like that kind of thing.
Alrighty. So you head to 27-1, which is the red light district. Unfortunately, even at night, there's still a fair amount of people around on the main street. So it takes you probably a good 45 minutes to get there, and then you finally arrive. And then let me place everybody on the map. Let's see, Devok, Pico. I'm assuming you're going as a group, or are some people staying behind? The reason why I ask is your letter had was pretty specific.
Let me be double checking that letter. Yeah.
Yeah, is it the Jared one? Oh, so I have to stay home. I'm not one of them.
Wait, where's this letter?
What time is it again?
Jared note.
Yeah, it's Jared note.
Okay, I also have to stay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, only 4 people were listed.
I see 3.
3.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
What time of day is it again? I've forgotten.
It's probably you guys ate and everything, so maybe 9 o'clock.
In the morning or night?
Night.
Okay. Well then, yeah, I'll stay back then. The note does not want me.
Okay, I'll go ahead and leave your character on the map so you can kind of see something to look at. So Galen and Ire, does that mean, and Devok, does that mean you 3 are staying, or are any of you going to try to go anyway?
I'll stay.
I'm saying.
Okay.
Actually, this gives us time for us to work on and brainstorm our equality movement.
Yeah.
True.
Alrighty, so Ragu, Pico, and Oreo, you have arrived. So what are you going to do?
Pico, can you do me a favor and with your presentation make me look a bit more scruffy? Just
Sure.
super unrecognizable.
Do you have anything specific in mind?
A peasant in the streets. A hobo. Whatever you want to label that.
Well, short of a disguise self, perhaps an orange tabby instead of a black one would be suitably unrecognizable for the mere humanoids who can't really tell the difference.
I don't know if you can really do a presentation of a full colored, different colored cat. I just figured something like messing with the outfit would be enough.
Oh well, I figured we both have prestidigitation, and a couple quick piffs each, and we'll cover most of your fur.
Let's see.
If you wanted, I could have casted a minor illusion on you before I left.
Does it last?
Unfortunately, those are
How?
stationary.
Oh, I don't know how long it lasts with gritty realism, but I know that normally it only lasts a minute.
Oh, it's still good to know
Prestidigitation
though.
will
Yeah.
it'll
Yeah,
last an hour, and it can color something.
Yeah,
What does
anything under a minute, sorry, under an hour, isn't affected by gritty realism time-wise.
Okay, got it.
well, we can
Okay.
use prestidigitation to do some movie dirt. Um, and you're basically a black cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Well,
why
with the
I
scruff
could
of white in the center.
I could change the color of your fur for an hour to
Well,
an
it
orange or
says make
something.
a color, small mark, or symbol appear for an hour. So if you make something appear for an hour and then you do something else, I'm pretty sure it just switches to that. So you can't make her.
No, you can have up to 3 of the
Multiple.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
non-effects
yeah, but that
at
would
a
be
time.
three. Okay, that makes sense. But then that would still be only like 3 spots on her fur that are orange, not her whole body.
No, well, in that case,
There are
what
2 of us, though.
constitutes? Yeah, what constitutes? Because like when you're cleaning or soiling something, it's 1 cubic foot. So I figured, a few square foot sections would be all we need. Whatever's not getting covered by clothes.
1 cubic foot. It looks like. Okay, so I guess between the two of you, you can get 6 cubic feet.
If it makes any difference, you can make me a polka dotted orange and black tabby. How about that?
I was
Well, I
going to
was
go with a
figuring just
tuxedo cat because that's probably easier to pull off.
a tuxedo cat's what she already looks like. That's why I was
No,
thinking like a.
no, but her face is still black. The white puff is kind of down the chest area, right?
Yeah, like the neck area. Think like a scarf.
Yeah, I'm thinking more like, big white blotch on the nose kind of thing. Things like
Okay.
I figured
that.
like a
Someone,
brown and orange striped tabby just doing her head and paws. That way she would look completely different, and most people wouldn't be able to tell her.
I feel like you guys are overcomplicating it. Just think of the easiest thing you guys can do there and just choose. That's it.
Well, the
Don't complicate
tuxedo
it.
thing was the easiest, but okay, fine. You're a brown and black tabby now, and you've got movie dirt.
Thank you. Not that hard.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so I
Um,
assume you did that on the way before getting there. So
yeah.
you arrive.
We'd have planned that in advance, given the amount of time.
Well, correct. Because I mean, it's up to an hour, so we're not gonna do it with an hour to get there or something like that. So
Okay.
I would
And we're not going to
think that
do
we
it standing in front of the building either.
correct. I mean, let's say that we were at like an alley somewhere in the red district before arriving to this place.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so yeah, you make the magical adjustments, and you arrive. You can see that it is somehow busy. You're not sure why it would be busy, all things considered, but somehow it is. And in front of you, you can see a short line with a bouncer in front who seems to be either basically letting people in or telling them to take a hike. So, what do you do?
Mr. Pico, you still. You're muted, but I'm guessing you said something?
So we ready to go in?
Yes, I was about to ask if you still had that little trinket that let us get inside last time.
Are you still a half elf?
Okay, shall we? Now get in line.
It's like actually dangling from my chain where I keep my focuses.
Oh, in that case, yeah, I could see it on you. Sorry.
All right. So yeah, you get in line, and eventually you reach the front, and a large, dark-skinned human looks eye to eye at you, Ragu. Actually, looking a little bit up because of how tall you are. But with normal humans, he'd be humanoids. He'd be looking down at them, and then it
Yeah.
says, "All right. So, you want in, do you?
I believe Pico would be in front of me in line if he's the one that's got the charm.
Okay. In that case, he will just see it, and he says, "Oh, welcome back, gentlemen. Please enter."
So, have you seen Jackson lately?
Who's Jackson?
I heard he's really good at casting fly-by bouncer.
I'm not familiar with any Jackson. So either he's really good or he's a liar.
Well, he's probably the last person you flung out down the steps.
Oh, wait. I think I might remember him now. He's an idiot, right?
Yep.
Yes, that would be him.
All right. Well, I'm hoping that you three don't hang out with Jackson.
No, we're not we're not.
No, we have
the
a more
best of
comfortable
friends.
relationship with gravity.
He laughs, and then steps out of the way so that you can enter. So let me go ahead and move you down.
Alrighty.
There you go. You should now be at the entrance, but on the indoor map, and should be able to see inside.
Okay.
That is weird. Oh, that's right. All right. So what do you do?
We can go in. Where were we supposed to meet him again? On the
Corner
left side.
table on the right side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not stage right.
All right. As you enter, you notice that the place is packed and lively, and you see an old man sitting at a table by himself in the southern section of the building. And Oreo, you notice, as I'm sure you're looking around as you're entering, and nobody seems to look your direction or give you any special attention.
Good. She's not really looking up either. She's just keeping to herself, pretty quiet. I'm letting you guys do the talking.
Okay. I'll just kind of walk right up behind Jared, pull up a seat, and sit down directly next to him.
Okay, he looks at you and he nods, and then you hear him whisper, "Where are the others?"
They are entering the room.
He looks, and he looks at Oreo, and then he kind of smirks. Cute disguise.
Doesn't say a word.
Wow, that suddenly seems more all-worldly and stuff.
Well,
So how have you been doing?
I've
No rocks falling on your head, I trust.
no rocks. A lot of trouble, but no rocks. So I want to thank you for coming on such short notice. So he raises his hand and he says, "Drinks." And then a waitress comes over and he orders some ale and he says, "What would you like?"
An ale will work, whatever you're drinking.
Well, let's see what the house special is like. If they have a house special.
A hearty dwarven ale.
Sounds
Alrighty.
very tasty.
And then, of course, we have the red and white wines. We have some moonshine. We have various other racial ales as well. And Jared tells the waitress, just give the bill to me. Order what you want."
Yeah, I'll have whatever Jared's having, a dwarven ale or whatever it was.
Okay.
That was what I was having.
Ah, okay.
Are you copy
you
non-cat?
Okay. So Pico and Ragu order a dwarven ale. Oreo, do you order anything?
Nope, I'm staying quiet the entire time.
Okay. All right. So the waitress walks away to get your drinks, and then he says, "Well, you probably remember before roughly a month ago or so, that you'd help me out of a little bit of an issue, which I never got a chance to properly thank you for. So, thank you again for doing that. And I asked you for a bit of tact and to allow us to follow the the members of the people who were meeting there, so that we could hunt them down. And then the waitress comes back with drinks and passes them around. And then once she leaves, Jared kind of pulls out a little blue gem, and he kind of rubs on it. And then he puts it back in his pocket, and he says, "Well, now that that's taken care of, we can speak freely." So, your tact dealing with the Grey Colt was much appreciated. And I have found out some information, and I would like your help once again. So, you, unfortunately, most of the cultists were able to use magic to obscure their tracks somehow. A combination of what are the spells called? Pass without a trace, invisibility, and some other obscuring spells. I'm not a mage myself, but I have some knowledge of the arcane. However, we were able to track a few people, most of whom were inconsequential and know very little, unfortunately. However, one of them was Tyrande of House Neilwit. Neilwit is one of the two noble houses that had to give up their Maven estates for political reasons, which I'm sure you're aware. And they each seem to be dealing with this in their own way. Regardless, I was able to track her, and but my ability to do so was limited. Unfortunately, that noble house has some knowledge of me and my organization, and so I dare not let them know I was tracking them. And that is where you come in. So my sources indicate that Tyrande comes to this place on certain days, late at night, and then leaves going in different directions. But as you might guess, that is very unusual behavior for a lady of a noble house, and is a large risk for her. If she were caught fraternizing in places like this and wandering the streets at night, her social standing would be seriously diminished. And so she came out of that cave, so we need to find out where she's going and why. And so I would ask your help in this. What do you say?
I think we can do something.
Sorry, say that again?
I said, I'm thinking we can do something about this, yes.
Okay. Well, I am willing to offer you payment for your services. I will agree to pay you 50 silvers each for the information. And I would like to know, she seems to go to 2 different places each night, or at least 2 different directions. I assume they're different places. And I would like to know where she is going, and perhaps if these locations have any connection to the Grey Cult. And according to my sources, she drinks here on Adner days and O'Neill days, and is apparently very consistent. And she always leaves in those 2 directions. And outside of that, my sources cannot seem to pinpoint her location throughout the rest of the city, meaning that she is laying low.
Do you know if she's been using anything to obscure her travels?
You're muted.
Do you know if she's been using anything to obscure her travels?
I do not believe so, because I believe if she were able to do so, we would not be able to track her. we would not have been able to track her from the Grey Cult Cave. And I am actually a little surprised that one of her rank didn't consider that ahead of time. I mean, the lesser known people who likely know very little, the standard street urchins and merchants, I can understand because there's not much to get out of them. But a noble lady who likely has deep connections, yes, she's low rank to be sure, but she's still a noble lady. She still has immense wealth and resources at her side. But regardless, as far as I know, she has no ability to disguise her emotions outside of the standard clothing and whatnot.
Do you know if she has any magical ability, like as a person, like as a spellcaster?
I do not believe so. I believe she was part of the cult for monetary reasons rather than for any sort of magical capabilities.
Sorry about that. It was an accidental click.
Oh, okay, no problem. So can I count on your help in this?
Indeed.
Yes.
He nods. And I also want to thank you for heeding the letter properly.
Of course.
Do you have any other questions?
How are we going to contact you afterwards?
That is a good question. And he basically points at the table and he says, 1 week from now, I will be at the same location at the same time. And if you are able on the next 2 days, on the next Adner Day and O'Neill Day, you are able to track this person. And then 1 week from today, I will be waiting, and we can join once again.
Sounds good.
Okay. I think we can do this. Yes.
So he sips his drink and says, "Is there anything else you would like to know?"
Do you know what ended up happening with that ritual?
It is unclear what they were trying to do, but one thing that is clear is they seem to be communicating with some being of great power, and that ritual was some sort of ritual of communication. So my guess is that they are planning something, or rather, those they serve are planning something, and they were essentially getting instructions, which is why it's important to track them down and start infiltrating their organization before it's too late.
Okay. And this one noble lady, she is the highest you've been able to get up the chain, yes?
Tyranda is the highest we've been able to find. Yes, not to say there weren't higher, but those that were better prepared.
Okay. Thank you. And she comes here every 2 days a week.
Adner days and O'Neill days.
It's 4 days from now. It's like the Friday and Saturday kind of situation.
All right. And do we know what she looks like?
He basically gives you a sketch. He hands out a piece of paper, a scroll, and you can see that there's a fairly good sketch of the person.
Okay.
She is rather distinctive, so I don't think you will have any trouble spotting her. She tries to disguise herself, and I'm sure it works in the sense that she's not well known outside the nobility, so non-nobility probably don't notice her. But I've had enough dealings with the nobility that that does not work on me.
All right.
So I also I unfortunately missed it, but did were you able to make the festival or the tournament?
Yeah, they had to cancel one of the events though.
Oh, did they? What did they cancel?
Oh, a murder.
A murder?
It was an assassination attempt by one of the noble houses to kill another noble house during the martial tournament. We were able to stop the murder and we won the tournament.
He shakes his head. Well, you winning the tournament, I guess that doesn't surprise me. And a noble house trying to murder another shouldn't surprise me, but for some reason it still does. How sad the times we live in. People are willing to conspire with creatures from another world. People are willing to kill each other in the streets. It is a spectacle in front of others. It is sad. Well, if you have no more further questions, well, I will. You can finish your drinks, and I will let you go. But if this goes well, there will be much more work to do to take out the Grey Cult, and I hope that you are successful, and I hope that beyond that, I can count on you. It is difficult. I have trouble counting on people outside of my group because most people are idiots, to be honest. But I am hoping that perhaps in the future I can bring you into the fold.
I'm sure we will be there in the future.
And then he takes his gem and he rubs on it again and puts it away. And he says, and then you notice that the volume outside just gets just a little bit louder. And he says, and our environment is back to normal.
Excellent.
All right. Well, he continues to drink, and he seems to spend a lot of time quiet, thinking or something. So, do you guys do anything else?
Just finish the beverages, maybe a little chit chat, and ask if his friends are okay. How did they fare?
Oh, they're all right. They unfortunately they are rather busy with other leads, so it's one of the reasons why I was hoping to rely on you for things. There's only so many people to go around and so much to do. You know how it is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we're quickly learning about how busy a schedule can be.
Indeed. So the only thing we can do is increase our circle of friends. So it is we have more people to rely on.
All right. Well, I guess since we don't have to pry Galen away from any gambling tables, I guess there's nothing keeping us here for now.
All right. Thank you very much for the drink.
He raises his glass and then or his mug and then continues to drink.
I raise my mug to his and then finish. And
All right. We will see you in 17 days.
17 days?
I go ahead and just wave at him. Yes, 17 days with a little image of a blue gem
Oh, okay.
on my paw.
All right, he nods. Alrighty, yeah. As you go to leave, you notice that there's definitely gambling happening in the various different rooms. People are moving around. There seems to be a lot of talk of the murder, or sorry, of the there's a lot of talk of somebody being apprehended at the Marshall tournament and being taken away, and it seems like, despite people always talking about nobilities fighting each other, people do seem to be legitimately shocked that they would actually go that far.
There anything else? I can pause here by the bar to, you know, pull the last swallow of my mug and set it down. Anybody else whispering anything except about the tournament?
Um, Probably not. I think the tournament is what's on everybody's minds. I mean, here they're not really talking as much about the Raging Ire, but it's more about the intrigue between the noble houses.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
still
that's what
focused
I
on the
said.
tournament.
Okay. Yeah, because I know they're all talking about us and the assassination attempt. I didn't know if there might have been any different gossip.
Although one thing you do get the impression is that the feeling is that House Ratau was trying to murder somebody from House Fairmar, and people don't seem to understand why they would want to do that. It seems like them doing this so openly, like that, would just cause them no ends of trouble, and they don't understand how it makes any sense.
Okay. Well, what motivations would one house have to kill another? I kind of say it in passing to Pico as we're just kind of getting ready to walk out.
One thing I was going to go ahead and ask up at the front is, so how is the gambling scene? Any big upsets based on the outcome of the tournament?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I will say that there were quite a number of people who lost money in the expert rank. The expected victors seem to have been beaten out by the Raging Ire, and so in some areas of the city, I know some people. I know some other people who won a lot from that, but most people here seem to have lost more than they won due to that event. As far as everything else, money betting wise, it seems to have gone pretty normally. The noble houses were a bit of a surprise, honestly, but nobody was really betting on them winning, to be honest. It was more about the competition between each other that was interesting. Nobody actually expected them to win, and well, they didn't.
Alrighty.
Although it would have been nice to at least see them actually fight properly instead of one house trying to kill the other.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a faux pas.
From what I hear, the one house had actually hired some mercenary ringers, so it would not have been a true battle of houses.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I did not know that. So, you're basically saying that House Ratau hired two people to kill people from House Fairmore? Is that what you're saying? And
That was
people around
the
on the tables kind of look your direction, waiting to hear what you say.
that
Back into
is
the
what
room quickly, and I just kind of try and get their glance and kind of give the let's go.
you're still in the back room. I thought we were leaving.
No, no, no. I've been out here
Oh,
this
there
entire
you are.
time. So I pop
Okay.
in when I hear that, and I just kind of look at you guys like, let's go.
Okay. Um, that's kind of what happened, and I guess we're leaving.
And then they start talking.
Well, I guess that's a good thing I didn't bet on anything, because I guess at least I didn't lose any money. All right. I wave to the bartender and head on out.
Fair enough.
And I tell Ragu it's mainly because that's probably still going under investigation. We do not want to be the people spreading rumors.
Well, if
Well,
it makes
they
you feel
announced
any
that at the
better,
tournament.
if it makes you feel any better, the last time we were here, nobody really saw your face. So
That's not the thing I'm saying. Is the things you were saying in there were out in the open and people paying attention. We don't want to be the faces as to the people setting up rumors of something that's probably going under investigation.
okay.
The other thing, Jeremy, is that when I had stepped, I'm gonna wait until we're on our way. I'm gonna change attunements from um, the bracers of archery to ring of tracking. Just so you know.
I was about to say that the ring of tracking and perhaps even Pico becoming a little tiny spider or something else might be an excellent way to be tracking this lady very well. Yes.
Probably.
All right. So yeah, you leave. Are you doing anything else at the Golden Dice, or should I take you back to the map?
No, I think we're good. Anybody else?
I think we can go.
All right. And while everybody else was at the Golden Dice, what were the other half of the party doing?
Um,
If anything, you might have gone to bed, and that would be fine too.
hey guys, did you want to work on some of our side stuff?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do some campaigning, if you will.
Yeah, let's start planning it out. Maybe contacting people that we had talked to earlier, see if they still important whatnot. It's kind of late, so we can't really like talk to too many different people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you suspect that doing anything out and about, especially with the tournament and everything, everybody's probably at home by now, or they're out in a bar drinking.
Fair enough.
Yeah. What's the plan? What are we doing?
That's what I'm saying. What should we when do we have free time? We should try and organize an event and maybe send remember how we went around and asked if people would support? Maybe we can
Mm-hmm.
send like a bunch of letters to those people to like try and organize like a big event or like a big march or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Big march. So who are we gonna ask?
The people we had talked to last time when we went door to door
Trying to
garner
supporters. Who were they?
If I remember
there's like a
correctly,
bunch
you
of
did that in the Sudaga ward.
yeah, we did. We got a bunch of people. Yeah, guys.
So perhaps a march for Sudaga rights.
Yeah.
So I don't remember you actually writing down names and addresses. So what you'll probably need to do is actually go and visit them in person when you have time.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys plan that out. Is there any conversation you want to have on that before we move on with each other?
Um, I don't know if there's much to talk about.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much planned out until we start doing it.
Okay. All right. So Ragu, Pico, and Ire, are you returning back to your inn, or are you going somewhere else?
I'm back to the inn.
Okay, yeah, you guys are at the end. I meant
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Ragu, Pico, and I meant to say Oreo. I said Ire. My bad.
Yeah, I think if we don't have anything else pending, yeah, we might as well head back and get ready for whatever tomorrow's itinerary turns out to be.
Okay, fair enough. So everybody returns to the inn and gets a good night's sleep. And is there anything you want to do before I move on to tomorrow? All right.
That's all. I can
So
think of. Yeah, I do the thing tomorrow morning.
It is now the morning of America Day the 2nd. It is a sunny day with a light wind from the southwest, but it is cool. So as you wake up in the morning, what do you do?
I'm gonna have an early breakfast and rush
Can you
off to
speak louder?
Gimble. Sorry, I was gonna have an earlier breakfast and then rush off to Gimble's,
Okay.
bright and early in the morning.
Okay, no problem. So you rush off to Gimble's. There you go.
Leaving a little note saying where I'm going for the rest.
Okay. So you arrive at Gimble's shop, and it says closed when you get there, but he notices you show up because he's got large windows out front so that people can see in and kind of browse the merchandise and get enticed to enter. And once he sees you, he kind of waddles over and opens the door and lets you in, and then closes it, and it still says closed. And it says, "Welcome, Ragu. Thank you so much for coming on such short notice. Before we get started, I want to say, don't forget that to take the time for it'll to be 4 hours in a given day, once or twice a week, in order to train up on that skill we talked about before. I don't think we can
Okay.
do that today necessarily, but make sure to set aside some time in the future for that. But in the
Most definitely. Evenings or early mornings or something work best for you.
Yeah, either is fine as long as it would have to be in the morning before the shop opens or in the evening when it closes. But it's basically a 4 hour block of time you'd have to set aside. And each time you come, make sure to bring a Lumev artifact. Um, Remember, each of these lessons will basically require one of those artifacts, and unfortunately, it'll be destroyed in the process. But the outcome will be new knowledge and capabilities, so I think it's worth it.
Okay.
But speaking of my problem, the reason you arrived, I have to ask you a question before, just to make sure my understanding is correct.
Of course.
Now, you wish to give your friend the ability to speak telepathically. Can you explain to me exactly why and how that would work? Or, uh,
Well, he is a druid, and as a druid, he can become the shapes of the big beast. The big bear. But whilst he is a bear, he's an amazing strong fighter. But after the fight, when he's sniffing around to find the enemy or whatever we happen to be doing, he just looks at me cockeyed, and I get very frustrated not knowing how to speak with him.
he's
But
smiling
it is his
broadly
brain,
and
but not
nodding.
the bear's mouth.
Okay, good. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure if I was remembering what you told me correctly.
Yeah.
So, with that out of the way, I an old halfling, shall we say, lady friend of mine, Lavinia. She owned an apothecary shop in the city called Lavinia's Herbs and Healing. Unfortunately, she passed away not long ago, and the sharks are circling. You see, she had a bit of financial trouble, and she was too stubborn to come to me for much. Instead, she got help from some other group of people who, in my experience, prey on the desperate like her. I didn't find out about all of this until much later, unfortunately. Anyway, while we were together, I spent thousands of silver to have a ring crafted for her, the voice of the wild, so that she could speak with her pets. She really loved her animals. More than people, I would say. Long story short, these people can take what they are owed, but I don't want them to have that ring. It is both
Ah,
sentimental value to me and a monetary value that those people don't deserve. If
I understand completely. Yes.
if you can get it back, I will let you borrow it for as long as you need. As long as you come by and let me see it every once in a while. It is a
Of
silver
course.
ring in the shape of a cat. with bright blue gemstones for eyes. It will have the name Lavinia engraved on the back. Is that something you're willing to do?
Of course. Now, all of this stuff is at her apothecary, and
I believe so. I
the people
believe
who are coming haven't been able to clean it out yet.
that I don't know. They might have. And so that's why I wanted you to get here as soon as you could after the festival because we were all busy then. Because I don't know what they're going to do with the place. They may keep it. They may clean it out and sell everything. I have no idea. So, well, it's in the northeastern marketplace district. He gives you directions to the exact street and everything, and it says, when you have a chance, just please go there and see if you can retrieve the ring.
Of course. All right, and he gave me a very detailed description. Thank you.
Yeah, so he told you what the ring looks like. He told you how to get to the to Luminia's herbs and healing. It's in the market district, which is 21.1, so over here. Can you see the thing?
Oh, now I can. Yes, 21.1. Got it. Okay.
All right. Meanwhile, going back to the rest of the group, what are the rest of you doing? When you wake up, you're given a note by the innkeeper telling you that Ragu. Actually, Ragu, tell him what it says.
The note said,
If you can read this, you don't need glasses.
yes, that's exactly what it is. No, it says, had to pop off early. Some business with Gimble. Will catch up very soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, we'll get breakfast.
Yeah, just get breakfast like normal.
All right. So yeah, you guys have your breakfast at the inn, and then everybody meets up together after breakfast. Because remember, the Sudaga is actually housed in a separate place. And then I assume that everybody communicates what's going on. So what do you do after that? It's still the morning, or yeah, it's still the morning.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if Ragu's going to be gone for a while, we don't have anything immediately planned. I am going to go ahead and stop by the library and talk to Ivala.
Okay, so you head to the library, and as you're going, Ire and Galen are reminded of the temple.
Yeah.
All right, so you arrive at the library, Pico. So what do you do?
All right. Hello, Ivala.
Oh, hello. You're here bright and early.
Yep. Figured I'd get some new research in. I've actually got this interesting research path I'm interested in, and I was wondering if you might be able to help. I'm trying to learn a bit more about scrying, particularly scrying artifacts, and wondering if you knew of anything in the collection that pointed any rumors about legends of such items like that, or any sort of documented cases of such items being made, things like that.
Scrying. Yes. I have some knowledge of that. One of the things, though, you'll run into as an issue is the city. The city leadership seems to have a strong dislike for that type of magic. My understanding is that all the magic items and the like are fairly rare, and they want to keep everything regulated. But my impression is that their regulation on those kinds of items is stronger than normal. I'm not entirely sure why. However, we can I can certainly point you at what knowledge we do have of scrying artifacts, and um, let you go from there.
Yep, that'll work. I mean, I can absolutely understand why the nobility in particular probably would want scrying going on. I mean, she's with all the political intrigue nonsense. I'm sure the last thing they want is cutting into their privacy. But yeah, given some misadventures with some members in my group, trying to find some way to more accurately keep tabs on their misadventures and also just being able to keep an eye on home on occasion seemed like they'd be kind of useful. So I've been kind of interested in that.
Okay then. So she leads you to some books, and then she pulls out a couple of tomes, and she says, "Well, what information I know of here at this library, anyway, should be contained in these tomes here. So this one here seems to be a treatise on a variety of magical artifacts. So it's not all about scrying, of course. This here seems to be some knowledge about the nature of scrying spells, and also has a treatise on the practicality versus morality of such things. This one here seems to go through the history of several artifacts, including some that had some scrying abilities and owners, and changed, how they changed hands, and various stories about the people who own those objects. And this one here seems to be a treatise based on an artificer, I believe, who had done some worked on some research related to scrying devices, as well as a number of other types of magic. So you can start looking through there. I unfortunately don't have enough time to do the research myself, but I can at least point you in the right direction.
Oh, well, this is very much appreciated. I mean, I kind of expect this to be a ongoing project, so I'm not expecting immediate results. But the more you know.
Well, good for you. I hope you find what you're looking for. It might take you some time, but nothing to do but to get started, right?
Indeed, that's why I'm here.
All right. So she leaves and leaves you to your studying, and so at this point in time, so what are you looking for in those books specifically, or are you looking for general knowledge, or are you looking for specific items or a certain type of item, etc.?
I guess you could kind of say a certain type of item, although any information on it all would be interesting. But yeah, I mean, specifically any artifact, wheelhouse, scrying, even if they're, and if there's varying, if they come in varying capabilities and stuff like that, just kind of finding out what's actually out there or been known to be out there.
Okay. All right then. So yeah, you start doing your research. Go ahead, and you'll probably be doing that for at least several hours. So go ahead and give me a history or intelligence check to see, or sorry, investigation or intelligence check to see how well you do.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and use my eyes of minute seeing for this. And you said investigation.
Yep.
Yeah, this is probably going to be pretty mediocre, but Pelop.
So you have advantage because of that ability. So that's an 11, right?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so that's what you're doing for the next several hours. All right, so that's Ragu, that's Pico, Oreo, Galen, Devok, Ire. Any of you doing anything?
What time of day is it?
It's probably mid-morning.
Okay. Then
And we had to head out midday, right?
Yeah, you suspect that going a little bit earlier or a little bit later would be fine. Although obviously, um, yeah, obviously you'd have to judge. You know how urgent you think it is. You'd have to judge based on the letter.
Okay.
yeah, I can't think of anything to do in the morning. I do have to go to that tree at night though.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's like at midnight though, so you have basically the whole day.
Mhm.
Okay, we can just move on to Ragu then, unless anybody else in that group has anything.
Um, I don't necessarily care to RP all of this out, but I wanted to do two things. I wanted to stop by the Nexus Guild to find Elru and see if I can get any information on the details of the event that we've been invited to. Since she's holding, I guess, guard, I want to kind of hear from her opinion. And then the other thing I wanted to ask her is if she had any details around House Newitt, which is what we've been told by Jared, but as to any details, I'm not sharing too many. I'm just kind of curious if she's heard of the house and what she can tell me about it.
Okay, so yeah, when you ask about the celebration, she doesn't seem to her information seems to be a little spotty. Um, According to her, you know, she's basically they contracted out to the Nexus Guild to get somebody to help them with security for the party, specifically to keep people to keep people out of secure areas, um, to make sure that people aren't sneaking around doing anything suspicious, to if there's any fights that break out, to deal with that swiftly, and in general protect the assets of House Valenstar, since the celebration is hosted at their estates. Um, and then beyond that, she tells you that there is a member of the Gadrak, the Temple of Gadrak, that is getting promoted, and apparently they are getting someone by the name of Paradin Grealish is getting promoted to the rank of head priest for that particular temple or that particular temple location. And he apparently is an old man who has basically worked at the temple for a long time, and apparently he's been responsible for a number of humanitarian efforts, um, including something related to various uh, helping people who have dealt with various drug addictions and other issues that have been happening in the nearby slums and tenement areas. And Valenstar apparently is going to hold their celebration this year in honor of the Temple of Gadrak, and specifically in the honor of Paradin Grealish. Um, Although she tells you kind of in confidence that they hold a celebration every year, that it's mostly just an excuse and a PR moment for them. Um, but that apparently the house is legitimately a the temp that religion is their primary religion. So there is that connection. As far as House Neilwit, they basically tell you that House Neilwit was one of the two minor noble houses where their Maven estates were evicted, in order to make room for a foreign noble house due to some agreement between the different kingdoms involving the Emperor, and having to do with Maven exploring the new worlds. And of course, These different foreign kingdoms wanted to be involved, and so there's some political machinations to make sure that they're local and involved in the political structure, so that Mavin and this particular country isn't the only people involved in this exploration. And of course, that came with a at least perceived loss of status, um, even though she tells you that she thinks that that's more perceived than real. But nevertheless, that's caused a lot of friction between House Neelwit and House Lorgai and the other houses, and has caused some fractioning within the houses. And there are, rumored to be anti-Lumev factions that have been developing or have developed within the houses.
And I guess the last piece there for the House Newitt is any recent rumors or tellings of what the house is involved in now, like what they're messing in or what their business is like and everything?
From what she tells you, is they've been keeping fairly quiet, although they seem to be involved a lot more with the Metal Forgers Guild, and with they seem to be purchasing weapons from various well-known but somewhat disenfranchised weapon shops, such as the Blackstone Blades.
I give her my thanks and we chit chat for a bit and then I will go back to my things in the guild. So I just wanted to do that bit and we're good.
Okay, cool. All right, then we go back to Ragu. So Ragu, you've left the shop. So what are you doing now?
Is it still early enough that I can catch the guys eating breakfast, or is it too late?
If you want to catch them eating breakfast, I can see that happening.
Okay. I
So,
go.
as you guys are finishing your breakfast, you're getting pretty close to being done. You've read the note from Ragu, and then suddenly Ragu pops in. Go ahead, Ragu. What do you do?
Okay, probably towards the end of your breakfast, because I had to talk with Gimble. I walk in and say, "Hey, how's everybody doing?"
Hello. Where did you run off
Hello.
to?
Oh,
Oh, I had to go see Gimble. He's got a problem. It's a very sad. A dear friend of his has died.
Oh,
I was wondering if I could get some assistance from some of you for maybe helping Gimble, in this
that's
time
more
of
Devok's
sadness.
department than mine, if it's a dead one.
Well, not
uh,
quite what I was having in mind. It's just that Gimble would like something very sentimental to him, and there are some unsavory characters trying to take apart this woman's uh, shop in order to get all the monies they can out of it. If we can retrieve this sentimental object before the scavengers and ambulance chasers get to it, it would be very, very appreciated.
Sure, I can help.
That would be great. I was hoping you would say so, Oreo. Thank you. I've got something in it for you too, so yes. Um, Pico, I was wondering how your spells and
You're gonna
magics
have to yell
work.
louder than that because I'm already at the library.
Oh, rats. I'll have to catch Pico in a bit. Does everybody tell me that Pico's at the library?
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
yeah. I'd say I'm
Okay.
down to help, but I have to do this thing with Ire at the church
Oh,
today.
no problem. I understand if you need to be doing the church thing. It's not like this is a big thing, and we could probably take care of it with just a man or two, but I appreciate your support, and I will give Gimble your condolences.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Um, Oreo, you say that
Yeah, I can
Pico's
help, but
recovered.
but I would also tell you that it has to happen after I go check out some stuff, which is the whole thing of the guild that I had to go do. So
Not
I
a
will.
problem. I will be rendezvousing with you at the library because I need to go pick up with Pico.
Okay, sounds good. I'll meet you there.
Thank you then. Okay. So after that quick end of breakfast scenario, I go ahead and head off to the library. I'll probably catch Pico on his way out.
All right, no problem. Well, you show up at the library and you realize that he's probably not going to be leaving anytime soon. You going to go in?
Yeah.
Okay, you go in, and in the corner, you see Pico busy with like four different books around him, large tomes, busy reading and taking notes.
Okay. Well, he does look busy, but I will go up and very quietly take a seat next to him.
Okay, Pico, you notice Ragu sit next to you.
Hello, how did everything go at Gimble's?
Oh, it is very sad. He had a dear close friend to him die, and he might need our help for some sentimental objects before the scavengers gets the better of his friend's estate. I had to
That
question.
sounds odd.
It does, but it is Gimble, eh? I was having a question about your magics now. Um, your spell of being able to locate the objects from very far away. If I were to give you a very good description and even the name of an object, could you find it? Or would you have had to have been seeing the object before?
Hmm. Let's see. Let me refresh my memory. Well, it generally has to be within 1,000 feet of me, and it's got to be something I'm familiar with. If I haven't seen this thing at least once before, I'm probably not going to be able to find it. I mean, if it's a certain type of object, I could try and look that way, but if it's nothing unusual, it could point me to any number of other wrong objects first.
Well, what if this object was extremely unique? It's a small silver ring with the head of a cat on it and blue gems for eyes. And I even have the ring's name. Would that be enough? I kind of try and I'll make an attempt to minor illusion the description in my hand.
Actually, probably better if you don't,
Oh,
so that I don't try to gear myself towards looking for theoretically the wrong object.
okay.
Um, yeah, I guess this gets tricky. So we'd kind of need a ruling here. I mean, yeah, the spell can find a nearest object, a particular kind, and their example is a certain type of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon. So, um, I guess the question is, given a description, would it at least be able to point me at silver rings with cats with, as he said, blue eyes?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, it would point you at something that meets that description. There's no way to know for the spell to know if it's that specific magic ring, but at least it would be something that looks like that. So if it's unique, then that's probably good enough. What's the range on the spell?
1,000 feet.
Okay.
And if the object had a name, could he ask for that object's name?
Yeah, I mean, he could definitely think of that, and that would probably increase the chance of success. Um, but I don't remember the spell having anything specific with that, so I don't think it would be a slam dunk necessarily.
Okay. The name of the ring is a voice of the wild. So it's a specific ring with a specific name. It's a very unique item.
Hmm.
I'm hoping you can help me make sure it is in the location it's supposed to be. And Oreo said she would help me be getting into the place it is supposed to be getting it back.
Now, how sure are you that it's there? Because I'm kind of, I mean, the the locate object spell will last about 10 minutes. So, but I can't ritual cast it. So it is something that I do need to have reasonable confidence that it's going to be in the area because I can't try very many times.
The sooner we move on the location I believe it is, the more likely it is to be there. Otherwise, we'd have to be hunting down all sorts of scavengers and loan sharks, and that would be much more of a problem. So this does have a bit of a timer on it.
Well, if it's urgent, I can. I mean, these books aren't going to go anywhere. I can finish my research later. Well, continue my research later today.
Okay. Thank you very much, my friend.
All right. So I'll go ahead and start packing things up, and I'll ask Ivala, is there anywhere I can set these aside? I plan to come back to these books later today.
She nods. We can arrange that. So yeah, here, let me just take them for you, and then she takes them and puts them behind her desk.
Thank you very much. You're always so helpful.
Of course.
All right, so I'll go ahead and follow Ragu and see what kind of ankeg trap he's trying to lure us into.
Fair enough. All
We,
right.
we get out. We get outside the library, and I look around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long it would have taken me to do the whole talk, but I would have gone straight to the library after that.
Okay. So Oreo shows up.
Okay. Now
Oh,
we
you're
can be
bringing the
going.
big guns for this.
Yes, you're gonna help make sure it's there, and she's gonna help me make sure to get it. And like I said, I promised, compensation for help, and you're very good friends. Um, I have the exact address. It's at 21-1.
Yeah. So I'll just go ahead and take you there. It takes you. Oh, I apparently forgot to add your characters. Let me do that now.
No, somebody cast darkness. We're too late.
It takes you probably a half an hour or so to get there, and then then you arrive. You're probably more further away than that. Anyway, so you're coming down the street. You can see the building that the directions lead you to. You're pretty sure you're in the right place because you see a yard and you see a bunch of different types of plants, all neatly tended and growing in that fenced off area.
Yes, yes.
Ooh, what
Gimble's
a
friend is
beautiful garden.
yes. Gimble's friend was this nice old lady who owns the apothecary here. And
Hmm.
one time, a long time ago, he gave her a ring, but she is in debt, and the loan sharks are gonna take all of her stuff, and the ring is something he would be wanting
Back up,
back.
back up.
So Oreo, you noticed that there seemed to be a couple of thugs that seemed to be inside of the shop, and the shop itself has a sign on it that says closed. If you wanted to avoid getting seen, go ahead and make a stealth check. Okay, so yeah, you managed to back out of the way. You saw them, but they seemed to be looking a different direction. One of them was looking at some bottles on a table. Another one was looking at some plants on a different table, and they seemed to be too distracted to notice you showing up.
I just tell the other two to come closer so I don't have to necessarily talk that loud. And then I tell you guys about the two inside. And I believe it looks like there might be another window and another door in that direction. Um, maybe we might, I don't know if it's a good idea to necessarily split up, but they're really close together in there. And if there's a way to kind of knock them out or do something to check, they're already probably looking through their stuff now.
Okay. Can we get around to like the back here or something? Maybe, and it's a small apothecary, but
The place
It
that they're in though is pretty smallish. I think there's a back office or something, and the only two I could see are in the front end of the apothecary.
yeah.
just so you guys know, the place is 2 stories.
Oh,
Okay. But even though it's 2 stories, it's very small looking. It's less than 1,000 feet just standing next to it.
That's correct. And Pico, did you cast your spell already?
I did
Yeah,
not. I
Okay.
wanted to wait until we were sure there was a need to.
Okay. Fair
yeah.
enough.
All right. So if we can maybe come around this side or to the back, as long as we are not seen, Pico can make sure it's in there, and then we can try try getting in.
yeah.
What does
I'll
the second
say. Go ahead.
What does the second floor look like?
It's pretty much the same as the first. Uh, there's a bit of a gap in the corner, like a bit of a notch taken out, but otherwise it's the same structure. You do notice that over roughly here on the second floor there is a window, and over roughly here on the second floor there's a window. However, from your current vantage point, while you can see through the windows, you it's too low to the ground to see what's in there.
I will say
Uh,
though
Um,
that if you guys are gonna go through the top part, you either go through maybe what looks like an alley here, or go through the brush here so that the windows don't actually catch anybody on this side.
okay, so don't come back this way to the back alley.
Well, either go through the back alley or just don't avoid this side of the street because the windows could expose you guys if you guys decide to go that way. I want to stay by this window here just to keep out a lookout. That's what I was gonna say.
so
Okay.
Ragu, if I understand right, you're one of the creditors, or at least an authorized representative of the creditors, right?
Don't have enough information to be able to pull that off. Can you help here?
You weren't told that you're authorized or anything. In fact, Gimble seemed to be
We
like,
know we're not.
No.
let
Yeah,
them
Yeah,
take.
no.
Okay,
We
good.
Yeah,
know we're not Jeremy. We're trying to come up with a
right.
you know
Oh,
good
okay.
walking in. Oh yes, we're the potion inspectors. That type of thing.
Okay, fair enough. I'll let you talk then.
Well, so here's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Just, I mean, you- okay, because of what they're here for, they can't just suddenly go murdering people. That kind of takes them away from being creditors and, well, straight into murder territory. So you can start a big, you know, you can claim you're there to also collect on some debts. They can sit there and get all mad all they want and argue. And while there's a commotion, preferably just heated words, maybe myself and or Oreo can make an entry through the top, or maybe Oreo can back you up so that in case anything goes sideways.
I like either plan. Yeah.
That does sound pretty decent. Um, Now, as well as this very specific object that you two are probably going to have to team up to get, um, if you see any pictures or sentimental things like that with Gimble and this lady Lavinia, then if you can grab that as well.
Okay, I think that can be done.
Okay.
Um,
I do not know what else is here except for the apothecary, and it's not really important. Just Gimble's friend's ring before it gets taken by the scavengers.
all right, so maybe maybe looping around and getting to that northwest corner, basically over here, and I can try and climb up. So if you start the distraction, then I can climb up. That should keep them distracted. I can get up there, and then from there lower myself down to the second floor window.
Okay. Since we are
Uh,
in within range, before we do that, since we are within range, we go when you cast your spell to make sure the object is in there.
I kind of wanted to not cast something if I could at all help it. So I wanted to at least get a quick
Well,
look.
it's a tiny ring, and I'll help compensate you in some other way. I can find
Well,
some way to help
here's
with
the
the
thing though,
spell
Ragu.
slot.
If there's a bunch of goons in there right now digging through through stuff, granted, they didn't
Mhm.
exactly come here maybe not knowing that she owns that, but if
Exactly.
if they are looking for anything valuable and they're still digging through her stuff now, I have a feeling that maybe that's still what we got here just in time.
Yes, but it's a whole house, and we would also have to ransack it to find it if it's hidden in a special place. Whereas the spell would bring us directly to the back room in the second drawer on the left. You know.
Is it that specific?
It, hello?
I hear you.
Oh, okay. I heard a kabloof. I didn't know if somebody dropped.
No.
But
Yeah, Pico would have to look up the spell and let us know how specific it is.
yeah, I believed it
Um,
was that specific, or like right to it.
says you sense the direction of the object's location as long as it's within 1,000 feet.
Okay,
And
so
if it's
that's
moving, I can see the direction of movement.
so yeah. So basically, he wouldn't know necessarily it's in the left drawer, but what he would know is to always know the direction. So he'd basically it'd be like following a compass
He
until
is,
it points
yeah,
at it.
he is the homing device. Oreo is the one to get him in the building, and I will be the distraction. But the
You
homing
think
device can let us find it much, much, much quicker.
you don't want me in there with you? You sure you can handle both of them in there?
1/2 second. Can I just kind of peek?
I'm,
Okay, and then
I'm
come
just
back.
talking about making a commotion at the door. They're probably going to try to keep you out. But as long as you're not doing anything too intrusive, you just got to keep them busy. An argument's good enough. I mean, yeah, if you just kind of keep sort of trying to shoulder your way in, and then they're giving you grief, that's all for.
Okay. But what I was talking about was the two of you being able to find the ring as quickly as possible without having to ransack and search for 10 minutes.
Well, my thinking was that I could, you know, take a quick look, and if it looks like it's going to be hard, then cast it. But I've already cast it, and the time's
Wait,
burning. So
hold on. One quick question. You said that Ragu, that this thing does it have magical properties to it?
Yes.
Pico, do you have can you ritual cast detect magic?
not today. I don't have that equipped.
Never mind.
Okay, Pico, you
Where is
get.
Char?
I guess he would have come back by now. Here, let me put him on the thing for you. Come on.
Okay, and if he has any information for us, we'll jot that down, but we'll take care of that later.
Okay, yeah. So what Char told you is that somebody came out of an alley nearby and went to the pot, and he looked at the note, and after reading it, he pocketed the note, and then he went back into the alley, and then Char continued trying to follow him, and he saw the person kind of reach in his pocket and then vanish.
Okay, they're using invisibility stones. Okay, thank you. And I'll get a vague description later. But right now, Char, you're going to be helping us much more.
All right, so what are you going to have Char
I'm
do?
going to be. I am going to. Well, if we can get out of the way of standing right in front here, I can ritual cast detect magic through Char,
Well, that's too late.
and Char will be able to detect magic, and he can poke you in the head and point in the direction that he sees.
Well, by then my locate object will expire.
Okay, so
But you've
Pico,
already cast it.
you cast. Okay, you ca-
You were being pushy enough about it. I cast it.
So
So
you
it's running.
did cast it,
Sorry.
and it's the object, as far as you can tell, is not within 1,000 feet.
It is called the Voice of the Wild. It's a silver ring with a cat's head, blue gems for eyes.
Yep, and he went looking for it, and as far as he can tell, nothing matches that description within 1,000 feet.
Not even here. No point in distraction.
Well,
damn
it's
it.
either
And
that or Pico just got rotten luck, and even with what you told him is not enough. So it doesn't. I'm not sure if that was necessarily the
Well, and there's also a possibility that it's in a special keep safe or something that blocks out magic, or who knows.
that too. So it doesn't necessarily eliminate the fact that it's not in here. But now, anyway, if you can still do that thing with Char, then I mean we can still try. There's still people looking in there, and if we leave this as it is, then they're gonna really look at everything, and then there's probably little chance they'll find it after.
okay, so I shall be going up there to cause a distraction. Drew and Pico and Char, I guess, will be able to get inside and be looking for it. You know exactly what it looks like, and the best I can do is ritual cast detect magic, and he will be able to be kind of pointing out any magic fields he finds, but he will tell you nothing more about it than that.
Sounds good.
Although, do you have time to cast that if you're in the middle of doing a distraction?
It lasts for 10 minutes, and wait a second.
You have to spend 10 minutes casting it.
Yeah, as far as I know, nobody's actually approached yet, other than Oreo checking inside. You guys have just talked about it.
Yeah, so I can go ahead and ritual cast it, and then it'll start, and that will give you a 10-minute timer for him. At that moment, as soon as I'm done casting it, I shall go start the distraction. You'll have to climb into
So
the building and everything.
let's do this then. While you're ritual casting, me and Pico start getting into place. So Pico, which
Okay.
direction do we want to go? Do you want to go this way and up to the corner up here?
Yeah, I guess we'll loop around out of sight. We can probably go down the block and come around.
Okay, and so while you guys are planning that out, I am going to move back over to the rest of the group. What else? What are you guys doing at this point? By this point in time, it's probably getting close to midday.
Head there. Oh, no, Michael, shut up.
Galen, Ire, Tavak, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, well, me and Galen should probably head out to the temple.
Yes.
Okay, so I will then take you to the temple map. Okay, who is going with you? You have Galen and Ire. Is anybody else going?
No, well, the note was specifically for us two, so I'd say it should probably just be us two.
Yeah, for now.
Okay, you arrive at the temple, and you see this. You've been here before, but you see this large structure. It's got four what look like square towers that rise up, and then on the top of each tower is a bell. And then you see sets of steps that are going up to the side of the structure. And then high up, you see three large sets of windows. You see several benches. And with people sitting on them, you see statues of Gadrick at the front. Around you, you see grass and trees, and a large set of two double doors. So what do you do?
Let's head in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right, these are the main doors, right?
Okay, you head in, and on the ground you see, the kind of the reflection from the light streaming in through the windows. You can see that it's lighting up the place. It's pretty bright in here, and you see multiple people around. You can see the main worship area up ahead, and you see Cragar sitting on the bench. Let me go ahead and make sure his name is visible, since you would know that. You should now see his name, and from what you remember, he is a half-orc, and yeah, so you guys have definitely spoken to him a lot before. So what do you do?
Let's go say hi.
Yeah.
All right, he looks up as you arrive, and he says, "Oh, welcome, my friends. I am so happy that you were able to make time for me. You are here about our discussion, correct?"
Yep.
What about the note? Yeah.
Yeah, please come with me. I'm going to take you into my chambers. I sure would share them with another, but they are not here at the moment, just so that we can get some privacy. And then he starts to move. Let me
Oh,
make sure we're on the map.
right.
There we go. And then yeah, he makes his way downward. And at this point in time, he opens his door and enters. He says, "Please have a seat. You can sit on one of the beds."
2 beds.
Yes, like I said, there is another that I share the room with. It is
Right.
rare for us to have rooms to ourselves here. Anyway, he sighs, and then he says, "Well, I'm just going to get right down to it. There have been a increase recently of people coming to the temple, who are suffering from blue sand addiction. And, well, I'm not sure I ever told you this, but I came to the temple because of that addiction myself. And I have been I have taken it upon myself to look into this to some degree. Paradin does not look well upon me taking this upon myself. I am a priest of the temple, after all, not a vigilante. So I am seeking outside help. You see, I have followed someone that I believe to be one of the dealers to the Full Barrow, a carpentry and furniture shop on Buell Street, nearby tenement district. And that the person, I was unable to catch their face, but I followed them from such a deal being made. So I am confident that they are a dealer, even if I was unable to see them. But what's more is it's just a furniture shop with carpentry shop tools, and it's in the slums. But yet, I've seen people of nobility in the area, and it leads me to believe that they are somehow involved in all this. And if the nobility are involved, who else is involved? And so I need someone I can trust to look into this. And of course, I will pay you, but it is important to track this down, and I have to admit it is somewhat personal.
Hmm.
I if it wasn't for Paradin, I would still be on the streets today. So, what do you say? Will you help me out?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know.
definitely willing to help. Although I have to ask, you don't want us to just do you want us to just get rid of this dealer, or do you want us to
No,
go
getting rid of the
deeper?
dealer would be useless. There would just be another
Yeah,
dealer.
yeah, of course.
What you
Okay.
need to do is find out who's at the top,
Hmm.
especially if the nobility is involved. Which house or houses? Why? And if not them, who else would it be?
Yeah, that's actually what I was gonna get to.
So, what I would suggest, Paradin does not want me personally involved, but yet he too sees the damage it caused. You can, if you go down the hall, and in the large rooms, you can see the injured and sick because of this.
Hmm.
And so I would suggest speaking to Paradin, and because he seems to have information that he's just not telling me because he doesn't want me involved.
Okay.
But yeah,
So we could
so
talk to him and get a little extra information too.
so the Full Barrow is on Buell Street, like I said, in the tenement district. Um, Meta-wise on the map, that would be 30.3 because it's close. It's the closest one. And perhaps Paradin or someone else, one of the other priests, can point you to where the dealers are working from or somewhere else that can also help.
Okay.
All right, thank you, my friends. And if you can find out who is behind this, even if I can't personally, you can tell that he really wants to be personally involved. Even if I can't personally be involved, I would I would be glad to know that the problem is being solved for real.
Yeah, of course, we'll do everything we can, and if we need any help from you, we'll ask as soon as we can.
Well, Paradin is the old man. He is, I believe, he is going to become the head priest soon. Believe it or not. Um, but anyway, you will know him because he will have the formality and the grace that you would expect of a high priest. He has long white hair and a long beard. Um, you should see him you should see him nearby where the worship occurs in the large room. You can't miss it.
All right.
All right. So what do you do?
We'll head out. We'll thank him and head out to the other guy.
Okay.
So he said it was down the hallway in the big room.
Oh, as you're moving, he says, "No, no. The hallway,
right.
the large hallway near the main doors."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Galen.
Oh, well, my bad.
Come on.
And as you're heading to the north, you see an old human with white hair, long white beard, who seems to be walking out of the main worship area. So what do you do?
All right, let's approach him. You
He
can come
sees,
too,
he
Aaron.
looks up
Oh, yeah.
and he sees you approaching, and he says, "Oh, welcome. Are you interested in join? Oh no, I recognize you. You two. I've seen you here before. You've worked pretty hard for the temple in the past, haven't you? But
Yeah,
you're familiar. Um, are you involved in any way with the Nexus?
we are.
How so, if I may ask?
Well, we're Nexus Guild members, and they currently we've done a couple of expeditions to Lumev.
Oh,
Uh,
that is where I recognize you from. Indeed. He bows and he says, "My name is Paradin Grealish, and within a few days, I will become the head priest of this temple." And he bows to you, and I'm going to go ahead and put his name tag on since you now know it.
Awesome.
So how may I help you, gentlemen, today?
Well, first of all, congratulations, and I'm sure we'll look forward to working with you.
Oh,
But
thank you.
we came here because Cragar informed us of a problem in the community with this what is it called? Blue spice?
Blue sand.
Blue sand that's been going around, and
Oh, yes.
he wanted us to help.
We get, in any given day, we get a dozen people coming to the temple looking for cure. But as you know, the miracles only are only works strongly with those with a strong connection with the weave. So for many, there is little we can do other than to provide them safety and a medicine to reduce their pain. And yes, I do know something of this, and I know that Cragar should not be involved directly. He is a priest. He is not a warrior. But I understand his desire to deal with this. I don't know if what he told you of his past, but shall we say that he's gone down this path himself. So I do know I've overheard some of the addicts speaking of of making a purchase on a street called Chatsur, apparently near a park. I also know that within this temple, somewhere around here, is a paladin by the name of Keone Wexley. And I believe I heard her discussing some of these dealers in the past, and getting, perhaps you can get information from the dealers themselves.
Wonderful. Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and put the name of the street into the chat. And while I'm at it, I'll go ahead and put in the name of the paladin and the name of the shop where Cragar said that he saw one of the dealers enter.
Okay. Full Barrow, Craystar Street. There was a house on Craystar Street that was
Well,
the house.
he said near the park.
Okay, got it.
Well, good luck, my children, and please come back to the temple when you have when you have a moment from your duties. And then he starts walking off. So what do you do?
Okay. Cool. Well, we should probably check back in the group and let them know about all of this, and then maybe
Yeah,
start
for
working
sure.
on it if we can.
So one thing you notice that you do see what appears to be someone wearing a full plate, sitting in one of the pews inside, who seems to be her head is bowed in thought.
Oh, is that the Paladin, Keone Wexley?
Perhaps. Oh, actually, Ire would recognize it. So yes, she is a paladin.
Okay. Ira, this is more your road. Do you want to see if we can ask her if she knows who this person is? Keone Wexley, find them?
Yeah, which was it? Her? Here.
Yeah, the one that
Yeah.
looks like a fighter.
All right, all up. She look like she's intently.
Her head's bowed, but once you start walking closer, perhaps due to her instincts for battle, her head kind of rises and she looks at you. How may I help you?
Hello. We were looking to inquire about some blue sand dealers. As we're helping out the.
We have to find Keone Wexley. We don't know if this is her.
This is her.
Oh, it is.
Oh.
Oh, no. Okay, I thought you just knew they were a paladin.
Oh, maybe. I don't.
All right, so
Yeah, she bows her head and says, "My name is Keone. Can I have yours?"
Yes, I am Ire, and this is my friend Galen.
And so I take it Cragar has convinced you to help him.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, that puts me somewhat at ease. If people he can trust, and perhaps he would not feel so tempted to take care of it himself. So I'll tell you what I know. Well, I do know I've spoken to the victims, and there appear to be two major dealers that I know of. There's one on Chatsworth Street, apparently near some sort of park, and there's another that seems to work on a different street, on Barstead Street. And I don't know their names. The one on Barstead Street, though, he tends to work out of a sort of an alley or a dead end, and the other works around a park. You'll recognize the park because there'll be a large statue of some figure with wings in the center. It's pretty distinctive, and I've heard talk of both of them and how they seem to be able to convince people. They give them free access at first and then get them hooked. I've never been hooked to things like that myself, but it apparently is very strong.
Right.
So I would suggest perhaps visiting those two locations and seeing if you can find these people. Although taking them off the street by itself won't be enough, but perhaps it is a start. And at the very least, perhaps you can find some information from them.
Okay, cool.
Is there
Thank
anything
you.
else I can help you with?
No.
No, you need anything, Ira?
No.
I think for now we're probably good, but thank you for letting us know about that.
She bows her head and says, "Thank you for at least looking at the problem. And if you are able to make headway, please let me know."
All right, we'll do.
For sure.
All right. Meanwhile, back on the map, Davok, I believe you are on your own now. So are you doing anything while everybody else is running around, or are you just kind of waiting?
I'm getting myself prepared for whatever tests I have to take tonight.
Okay, so you like going through your necromancy spells and everything.
Sure.
Okay, fair enough. All right, then going back to Ragu and I'm sorry, not yeah, Ragu and Pico and Oreo. All right, so you've just had your discussion. You have cast your spell, Ragu. You cast your detect magic spell as a ritual. So what do you do next?
We would have been in position before he finished that ritual cast. So
Yeah.
Okay, what position is that?
me
Yeah,
and
you
Pico are
guys get
gonna
in
go
position.
around the top.
Basically to this northwest corner, and what I'm waiting for is for Ragu to start his commotion so we can climb up to the
But
roof
just
unnoticed.
Wait, so what's the
question.
order then? So you're casting a spell, and you're causing a commotion. So which happens first?
No,
I
no,
want
he's
him to
ritual
not
cast.
cast. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, not, you two get into position. Move your tokens.
Well, that's the thing I was just gonna ask Pico is are we passing by through here or you wanna go another way to get to that corner?
I think we should
Um,
loop around out of sight. If we have to go a block or something like that, that should be fine.
There is this. I didn't know if it helps, but if you go
That
all the
might
way up
have,
here,
and that might expose us to the second floor if there's people upstairs. I just mentioned that earlier, so I don't think that's the right route to take.
oh, okay. All right
Although,
then.
for what it's worth, if it's a busy street, we could just walk along like we're any normal pedestrian.
You do see people walking by. I mean, it is the merchant district, so there's definitely people going to other stores and everything.
Okay,
Okay, so
then
yeah, you guys just go that way across the street, walk on by, and then come back around.
Okay, yeah, you can go ahead and get yourself in the position then. You do notice as you come around, Oreo, that there are windows on this side as well on the top floor.
All right. As soon as one of you wink at Char or something, let me know.
well, I take it as though if he's already been cast with the thing, then we're using Char approaching us as the cue for us to go.
Okay. I walk over to the. That's just a window. This is the door.
Yeah.
So,
All
do
right.
you cast your spell first?
Yeah, and then I.
Okay, so 10 minutes
Char
passes.
flies around.
You cast your spell, and while you're waiting for that spell, Pico and Oreo, you're just hanging out in the corner.
Well, we're going to. There's no doors or anything on this side. There's a window you said, but there's no doors on the alley side, right? It's the only doors.
That's right. So there's this door, and there's the front door, and then at the top there's two windows on. There's a window on this side, a window on the front, and two windows on this side.
So I look at Pico. Are we going through the door, or do you want to go through the windows? That means scaling up.
My plan was to climb up on the roof, and then we can lower down to one of the second floor windows.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are going to climb the roof? Okay, no problem. You're both tabaxi, so if you take your time, you're able to climb without any rolls. The only tricky part is the roof kind of comes over the top, so kind of climbing around that. So I'll need a climbing check from each of you for that.
If I go first, I can help Oreo up. So
Okay.
Go for it.
It's a DC 10.
DC 10. I almost wish I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no issue at all. You climb on top.
Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and head over to the other side of the roof, hook my grappling hook over, bring it back over, and then lower the rope down so that Oreo's got something to climb.
Okay.
And then as she gets up at the roof end, I'll pull her up and over.
Yeah, if with the grappling hook, she doesn't have to make a roll. She just climbs it.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, you are now both on the roof. Ragu, what are you doing?
Go up to the door. Is the
Okay.
door locked?
It is locked. There's a sign on it that says closed. Will reopen soon under new management.
I try. Oh, you said the door is locked. What kind of lock? Can I muscle?
Potentially. It is a wooden door, and it seems to be locked from the inside. There's probably a bar on it, so that'll make it rather difficult.
Nah.
And so yeah, busting through basically it'd be like kicking down the door in this in a regular home or or actually probably worse than that. It'd be like going to Target and kicking down the door at Target, and people
Okay,
walking
yeah.
by and everything.
Yeah, I don't want to necessarily just kick the door down for that. Is that sign on the outside or the inside?
It's on the outside where you can see it. It's hanging right in front of you.
All right. I pick up the sign and I bang very, very loudly on the door.
Okay, you do so, and you hear a voice.
Is there a peephole in the door too?
No, there's no peephole in the door. However, there is the window nearby, and you hear a voice. Can't you read? Probably not. This place is closed. It'll reopen under new management.
Bang! Bang! Bang!
Did you not hear me? The place is closed. Go away.
Bang! 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 Bang!
Okay, you guys hear this banging happening, and you hear this guy yelling. So Pico and Oreo, what are you doing?
Yeah, as soon as this is going on, I'm going to let Oreo use her best judgment to pick the window, and then I'll move the rope so that we've got a way to get down to it.
Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to put you guys on a different map temporarily, so you can see. So there's two windows here. You're probably in the way. So there's two windows here, as you can see. There's a window over here, and a window down there.
Can you move me back to the one that I think it was this one?
Yeah, so if you lower yourself and look down there, you see what looks like probably a personal room that's been ransacked. You can see books and stuff kind of just thrown everywhere.
Does nothing catch my eye, like a potential safe or anything? Like, does it look like absolutely everything has been checked out?
It's hard to tell if everything has, but let me move this. There's a desk, and you can see one of the drawers partially opened. There, if you go south a little, there is a cupboard or a dresser, and one of the drawers is open. There's a bookcase, and several of the books have been tossed on the floor, and there's a rug.
Okay, and then just a quick check about this side. Just again, this is a hallway.
It appears to be.
It goes all the way over here too. Shit. Okay. Two things here, Pico. The one that seems most interesting to me anyway, because it seems like it might have been her main room, is on this side, on the one by the garden. But the window down here that has a hallway leads to a potential room that's not where the goons are, but it's another. Doesn't lead. I don't actually know if it's the same room. Actually, let me see if it's. No, it's not. It seems like there's another room. Oh God, move me back, Jeremy.
Oh, sorry. Go
ahead. There's potentially another room, so if you put your token where I am, I'll ping what I'm talking about. There's that potential room that I don't know what it leads into, that I don't know if it's been ransacked or not, but there's no window to that, so I can't see. her room is actually pretty checked out, but I still would want to go in there just to do a second check. So we can either split up or we can try and haul ass on each room together. Up to you there.
We're probably better off sticking together. I think you do have a good point about, if the other room's been trashed, we might have better luck in one that hasn't been searched first. And if the coast is clear, we can always loop around to that one. Fortunately, if it comes down to it, we can always get tricky as far as moving around. And if we pull their attention, then that means that Ragu's going to have an easier time also being a distraction.
And
Considering this window
as
is
you're talking, you hear suddenly a voice. What is all that racket? You see somebody come out of a room, and you can kind of see a small room on the other side. But he closes the door before you get a good look, and he starts moving to the north.
Can I quickly just go to this window and kind of see if I can follow if I can kind of track that?
Yeah, he's just kind of moving to the north. And then there seems to be something at the end of the hallway, stairs probably, and then he disappears from sight.
I think this is our cue, Pico. Let's go into this window right here.
Lead the way.
All right.
Yeah.
So how do you get through the window? I moved you in, but first we got to figure out how you get
Yeah.
through.
I mean, can we time it? I'm gonna try and put the Lee VR situation that I've seen in a game. Can we use Ragu's knocking as a sound mask, to break the window?
What I will do is have you guys do a group stealth check, and basically subtract 5. Basically, give them disadvantage on their passive perception, which is the same as subtracting 5, and we'll see if you beat that.
Okay, so it's stealth, you said?
Yeah, just a flat stealth.
Okay.
Hold on, let me. Oh, never mind. You made that anyway. I was going to offer my expert guidance.
I can still use it, but I mean, I've got a pretty much a almost permanent advantage with the
Let's not
boots.
take any chances. Take the D4.
Okay, so that's a 28.
I were gonna break the
However, since you guys are moving together and working together, Pico is rolling as well. So basically, unfortunately, you both had to succeed.
All right.
Can you guidance yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I guess Oreo's already done her part. I'll go ahead and use that on myself. And let's see. Okay, I'll take that.
All right, so yeah, you managed to smash through the glass, and you managed to smash it as Ragu is pounding, and as you hear another voice yell out really loud, "I told you to go away!"
We
I'm
scurried
gonna keep
to this
banging.
room.
I'm going to keep banging on the loud progressively harder as the door thumps and dust starts to fall. And you can see the audible shake of the door as I hit it harder and harder until they unbar it and open it.
Fair
I'm
enough.
under the impression that Char is following us, right? So he
Yep,
should be
I
in here
can't
with us?
see him. I can't move him.
Yeah, that's fine. Just assume he's there.
Okay. So the door he just came out of, does it look like it's locked right now? Because he
It's
just
not
left them with
locked.
some...
It's just closed.
Do I hear anybody inside?
Not from behind that door, no. You do hear, however, somebody this direction.
I go ahead and just open the door. Pico and I go in to this one.
Fair enough. You open the door and you find a lavatory.
Well, all right. Either way, just for the sake of being super thorough, I'm gonna try and use Dungeon Delver to see if I can spot anything that might be hidden. Because you never know. Maybe this person decided to use this as a hiding spot.
While you're doing that, did you say you closed the door behind you?
Yes.
Because you hear stomping on the outside, and you see this large, hulking human stomp past you. What is that noise? And heading downward.
Yeah, no, I
offer my expert guidance.
can you help me too, just in general? But yeah, okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, and
Perception.
helping action.
And the 4. Give me a sec.
And while they're doing that, finally, Ragu, they open the door,
Okay, I was waiting for this part.
And you see a
I'm banging on the
crowd.
door.
You see this
I'm banging
crowd.
on the door. Okay, sorry,
Yeah, you
sorry.
see this crowd of large, thug-looking people, and they're all looking your direction. And so they kind of just you hear the bar getting moved, and they kind of pull the door open real quick. And so, what do you do?
As soon as they lift the bar off and unlock the door, and they're turning the knob to slowly open it just a crack because they want to just talk to me or whatever, I barge my way in, muscle.
All right, you do
Just
so. Go ahead and
oh,
give me a strength check.
okay.
Let's see.
But
So, and
I was
just tell me what you get.
barging. I was okay.
So that would be the three of them. So that would be 16, 26. So that would be this guy, and this guy. All right, go ahead and make your strength check.
Oh,
Jeez.
well, the first
Oh.
one it just
So
delayed.
okay, fair enough. So that is a 27. It does beat out their combined 26. So you kind of
And that was a natural crit.
yeah. So if just so you're aware, since it was a skill check, if they were able to get a high enough
Yeah.
roll, you would have still failed even with the 20, just because there's no crits for skill rolls. But nevertheless, you did beat them because they got a 26 and you got a 27. So you pushed them back with the door. You just kind of push the door open, and they're forced to stumble backwards. And you can see the people behind them kind of reach for weapons. And the people in front of you, what are you doing? Back to Pico.
Without saying. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we'll
They're
get
yelling
back to
at me,
that in a
what
minute.
are you doing? Sorry, Chef.
Oh,
Oh,
so
next,
yes.
Pico. Sorry. Go ahead.
So the room again. I just did a quick dungeon over. Any hidden spots? Nothing stands out.
What was your roll?
18 in total.
Okay, yeah, nothing stands out. It's just soap and stuff to scrub your skin with, and towels and that kind of thing.
I look at Char, just double check, and I kind of give me a nod or a shake if you sense any magic kind of
He
situation.
shakes his head.
Okay. I peek out. I can't really peek out, but nothing here. No other.
Nope, you don't see anybody. You can definitely hear shouting from downstairs, though. So you're thinking that's probably where they are.
Pico, let's
Does
go.
this-
Go ahead.
Does this door have the ability to lock this lavatory?
It does not.
All right. Well, whatever. I'm just going to go ahead and follow up with Oreo.
Okay, yeah, you open the door. This one also doesn't have a lock. And you peek in and you see what looks like a stove. It looks like a kitchen table, some cupboards, and one of the windows where you can see the street below.
I kind
Does
of
this door
again.
lock?
Yeah, that's a good point.
The kitchen door does not lock.
Okay.
Uh, let's look around the room. Char again. Any magic sensibilities around?
Okay, you look around. Char, it indicates there's no magic. Go ahead and give me a perception check while I move back to Ragu. So, Ragu, when they yelled, what are you doing? What do you do?
I step in as they're knocked back. I
Right.
shut the door. I pick up the bar that was barring the door and place it back on the door. I then hand the first guy, closest guy, that closed open sign that I picked up from outside.
Okay.
As I hand it to him, I say, "When I knock, you open door."
And are you attempting to intimidate?
I'm as big and muscly and as intimidating as absolutely humanly possible right now. I'm puffing out my chest. I'm rolling on the balls of my feet to look a little bigger.
Okay.
I'm as
Give me an
flexing.
intimidate check.
Oh, and while
This
he's
is where
doing
I
that,
suck.
as Oreo's doing the searching, I'm going to go ahead and help her and cast expert guidance on everything she does, rather than explicitly call it out every time.
Okay.
Basically, she's leading the way, and I'm just doing my best to help her with what she's doing.
Okay, yeah, you can just add it to her roll then, which we'll get back to. Ragu, because you just burst through the door and pushed three of the big guys back, I'm going to go ahead and give you advantage, so you can go ahead and roll it one more
Oh,
time.
thank you. That sucks so bad. I have no charisma, so intimidation's out the window.
Okay,
Just
so
kind of well, actually, that brings up an interesting point I saw the other day. Is yeah, intimidation tends to be charisma based, but if you think about it, that's pretty ridiculous in the sense that that means that any big, menacing,
I get what
muscle-bound.
you're. Oh, actually, I get what you're going to ask, and sometimes you can roll a skill based on another attribute. So, what's the difference between what's your strength bonus?
My strength bonus is +4.
Okay, so we would say that if you'd rolled that under strength, which I think would make sense in this case, then that would have been an 11 and a 13.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, and
Thank you, Dave.
so
And
what
thank you,
I
Phil.
am going to do then is they are also big hulking people. So I am going to give them. I'm going to go and give them advantage because there's a whole bunch of them. You know how that works. So I'm going to go ahead and give them basically a roll against that. Um, okay, so you can see that they're momentarily they're obviously impressed with what you did, and you can see they're momentarily taken aback, but they are also it it appears that these guys have been around the block. They're used to shaking people down and using their strength and their numbers, and so it doesn't take them long to get their wits back. And you can see them all looking. It's like very impressive. You definitely had us for a moment there, but nevertheless, our job is to secure this place, and our employer now owns it. And so
Ah,
you are
that
trespassing.
might that might be a problem. I am here to collect on a debt. My employer owns a portion of this property.
Unfortunately, I do not believe that's true because our employer has legal ownership and they have the paperwork. We are just here to ensure it's done.
As does mine, and he has the paperwork as well, along with his lawyer. I am here to simply make sure that nothing goes missing until he can take inventory and get his just payment.
I see. What is it exactly that you were looking for? Meanwhile,
Two things I want to be sure that I'm looking for, Jeremy, as we're doing this thing. I'm not gonna do it in the laboratory. The thing that we just searched, I would start doing it from this point on.
okay.
One is obviously the thing that we're here for, and then the other is if there's any specific deeds or paperwork of this house that might be under this apothecary original's owner's name or whatnot. I want to grab that if as soon as I see it.
Okay. You haven't actually seen anything like that. In fact, you haven't seen any paperwork at all. However, it is pretty clear with the open cupboards and drawers and whatnot that people have been going through this place.
So with the 30 in this room, because that's what I ended up rolling, do I spot anything? And does Char
There's
in his
nothing
also
magic. You do spot a bag of coins that if somebody apparently left behind, probably in their rush to get downstairs. But that is unfortunately all you find.
I'll take the bag anyway. The
Okay.
greed takes me, and then I look over at this door. Go ahead.
Oh, and since Oreo's taking the lead on the searching, as I'm helping her, I'm kind of trying to, just keep an eye out for any personal items. Letting her focus on the big prizes mainly, and I'll just try to focus a little more on the secondary stuff.
Okay. So you find 30 silvers in the bag, And you find another small room. It appears to be some sort of, or basically cupboards full of food. You see like different vegetables and bread, and it just looks like, yeah, it looks like food for the kitchen.
I make a little small snap over to Char and kind of tell him to come in here to see if we can spot anything in here. Again, just being as thorough as possible.
Okay.
Magic? No magic?
Yep, he does not spot any magic. You can go ahead and make your perception roll while we go back to Ragu. All right, Ragu. So he asked you, what is it exactly that you're looking for, or that your boss owns of this place?
My employer loaned Miss. Half a second. My employer loaned Miss Lavinia quite a large sum of money, and she was not able to pay it back before her unfortunate passing. My employer said to have all of her jewelry would be an acceptable payment for what is owed to him.
You see one of the guys in the back. You see him react to that, and he covers it up, and then he whispers something to the guy in front, and then he nods and he says, "Well, actually, that seems fair, and I would love to help you with that. Unfortunately, Moron over here already sold what little jewelry she had. I can tell you
Um,
who she sold it to, or he can, but that's it. She does not. We do not have it." And then he walks forward, and he bows his head, and he says, "My apologies, sir. I was not made aware of this arrangement. It wasn't worth much. However much money she owed your boss, that jewelry would not have paid it. I got, what, 20, 30 silvers for it? But I am willing to at least tell you who I sold it to, and perhaps it's worth something." Um, so there is it's basically a pawn shop called Dedro's Cheap Jewelry and Antiques. Um, it's in the red light district, in the northwest. It's kind of close to this place called the Golden Dice. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Um, basically, you go and you sell stuff there. He actually looks kind of chagrined as he's saying this. You kind of go and you sell stuff there, and no questions asked. You know how it goes. Um, you know what? I don't want any problems here. We're just here to do a job. He reaches into his sack and he hands you 3 gold coins, and he says, "Take it. That's what I got for it. That's all it's worth as far as that guy at Dedra. As far as Dedra told me, that's all it's worth. So have at it."
I take the 3 coins and I set them down on the table. And I say, if I am not able to find this Detro, I must be coming back to you.
Oh, Dedro exists. I can assure you. If you want to get an idea of how truthful you think he's being, you can make an insight check.
Yes, actually, I wanted to make kind of an insight check and try and hear what they were whispering too. But
yeah, go ahead. Make your insight check.
Good luck to me. No luck to me.
As far as you can tell, he's telling the truth. He doesn't seem to be showing any of the body language you would associate with lying, at least.
Okay.
And as far as the whispering, you can make a perception check for that. And if you have any advantage with hearing, now's the time to use it. If not, with your 17, you didn't catch a lot of it, but the gist of it was, crap, I sold that stuff just yesterday.
Okay. All right.
So go ahead and pause there. In the meantime, Pico, you've looked around that room, and you find nothing but stale food.
cool. I think you meant Oreo, but it's fine. We're in a hurry, so it's all good. Pico, let's go. And then I go, no sounds from the hallway up north, right? It sounds like
There
there's
isn't.
just a
There's
bunch of.
just sounds from downstairs.
Okay, all the way up here, go into this room, make sure that Pico and Char is following, and then we go in.
Yep. You go in and you see what looks like a ransacked bedroom. You can see drawers open. You can see not everything's been taken. There's books and such. It's mostly like it was just a quick search of everything. You do see some ledgers for the store, although they seem to be old. You get the impression that more recent stuff was already taken. Um, but you do not spot any sort of jewelry or clothes, or you do find one picture though, and it seems to be a painting, and it shows a fairly attractive halfling woman with orange hair, and someone that you can't help but recognize because you can recognize them from anywhere, Gimble, right next to her.
So I believe Pico will be taking that.
Yep.
And then is that considered like if I made the roll anyway, that would be everything we found?
Yeah.
So
It's
then
like I said, the place is torn up enough that it's pretty apparent. You don't really have to make a roll.
okay. So then in that case, considering the time limit that we've kind of got, we'll go back out through the roof, and then I give Char the go make your go make Orguno that he's good to leave, and then
Okay.
he can.
So I'll go ahead and put you like in the back. Oops. It helps if I can.
So just to clarify, after Oreo goes down, I'm going to go back up, get my grappling hook and rope, and then climb down and go.
Okay. So back to you, Ragu. You just got handed the coins. As far as you can tell, he seems to be telling the truth, or at least he's not. There's no signs that he's lying. So what do you do?
For the splittest of instances, I mentally tell Char I'm done, and Char tells me that you guys are already out the door, so I know I can just leave. And it's like, thank you for your cooperation.
Of course.
And I take the bar off, set it to the side, open the door, put the sign back to closed as I leave, and shut the door behind me.
Okay. Alrighty. So
I thought I was going to have to start fighting him. No, intimidation worked even when I suck at it.
Well, and it does help that this is kind of a not generally murder sort of situation.
Yeah, I didn't want to just murder hobo those guys. They're just doing a job, but
Well, what I meant was, as debt collectors, it's not in their best interest to be trying to murder somebody either. I.e., you know, if somebody owes you a debt and you go in and start killing people, guess who's going to be the bad guy?
that's true, and you don't get paid by a dead person. Okay, anyway.
all right. So I'll go ahead and put you back to the map. And so, in the meantime, Galen and Ire, you finished up at the temple. So where'd you go from there?
Well, you want to head over to what was it? Something some. What was it called? I forget the street name.
It was in
Val-
chat. It was.
Oh yeah,
Barsted.
yeah.
Barsted Street.
There was two: Chat Soar Street and Barstead. Yeah.
Before we do that, we should let the group know what we're doing so that we don't just disappear and start hunting down drug dealers.
True.
Okay, so are you going to
Yeah.
head back to the inn then?
Yeah, just for right now, we're gonna head back and let everybody know what we're gonna be doing.
Okay, so you're heading back to the inn. And Pico, Ragu, and Oreo, what are you three doing?
On the way back, I want to get some information from Ragu. Ragu, can you give me a little more details about what this lady's predicament turned out to be?
Um, I don't have a whole lot from Gimble. Just that. Wait a second. Yeah. Jeremy, help me out here with Gimble. Did he give me more detail on how she died or something, or why she was in debt?
He basically told you that she was in debt. She refused to go to Gimble for the money, so she went to another group who are essentially loan sharks, and then basically got in debt with them, and and so they basically gained ownership once she died of her stuff because she couldn't pay her debt, and that's basically
At
all they
that
told
point
you.
in time, okay. At that point in time, I have to ask. Once they got ownership of her shop, in case of her death, to pay off her debts, her death could be very fishy. Did she die of natural causes, or was it?
He didn't tell you. You would have to go back and ask him.
Okay.
Well, we may want to get that information, but regardless, I'm thinking that if we're dealing with people that are sufficiently scummy, I'm thinking that maybe we should have the deed for this place. I have to admit, I really like the garden outside. It'd be nice to have something a little better than an apartment. And, you know, I've got my deed documentation right here. I wave around my forgery kit before packing it away.
Okay.
Hey, that might not be a bad idea.
And who knows, if that gets the ire some loan sharks, maybe we'll be solving another problem in Mavin as we solve another problem for ourselves.
Pico, Rage, and Oreo. Do-gooders. I am liking this.
But for the immediate future, where are you going to next?
We are making a head beeline to Detro's cheap jewelry and antique crap store.
Wait, right now, do we want to maybe go back to the inn just to check in on the guys?
I can send Char, but the sooner we get to a pawn shop, the less likely it is to be sold to somebody else before we get there. If it was sold to them yesterday.
Well, in that case, what do we want to tell them? Okay, I go ahead and write absolutely nothing on a piece of paper and ask Ragu to attach that to Char. And then just as I'm handing him the blank paper, I pull it back and write, we've gone to a pawn shop to locate a ring for Gimble. We'll
There
be
you go.
back in a couple hours. I write the name of the pawn shop.
Okay. All right. So you do that, and then you head to the pawn shop, which is because you guys are way over here. It's over there, and by this time of day, it will take you. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 50 minutes to get there. So you're heading there. And then the other group is heading back. They're much closer, so they get back to the inn long before you reach the pawn shop. So Ire and Ire, Galen, and Devok. The owl shows up, and it has a note, and it says what Pico said. So Pico, go ahead and give your message again.
Ragu, Oreo, and I went to whatever the name of that pawn shop. Oh,
Detro's cheap jewelry and antiques, and it's next to the Golden Dice.
up to the pawn shop next to Golden Dice.
And
Okay.
we were going to be out for a couple of hours.
So you get that. And so what do you guys do? And that I'm talking to Galen and Ire specifically because you went back to let them know where you're going, and then you just found out they're going to be gone for a couple hours.
Yeah, that's fine. You can be doing other things. Why don't we just write like going to get drugs in the slums? Be out most of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And you give this to the innkeeper.
Mhm.
No, I give it to the owl, hopefully.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
I don't want to just
Yep.
hand that to the innkeeper.
Okay. In
Yeah,
that
Char will
case,
bring it.
Ragu, on your guys' way to the pawn shop, um, your owl shows up again, and you open it up and you read that.
I read it and I just kind of hang my head and sigh big and heavy. I'm going to be having to have a talk with those boys. And I just kind of roughly hand the page to Pico and Oriole.
Well, if they can at least end up with a talking white dog out of the deal, it'll be all worth it.
Okay. So I guess Ire and Galen, you'd probably be first. So what are you guys gonna do?
So first of all, we tell also Devok where we're going.
Which
And
is
then
where?
I think, do you want to start with the full barrow shop? Because you're not gonna just, well, at least we're probably not gonna just pull up to one of those streets and see some dude just selling
Uh,
shit.
yeah. Well, okay. Also, we should probably think of what we're actually gonna do. Like, are we trying to?
I think here's an idea I had. Um,
Mhm.
I have this cantrip. It's not super powerful. It's a cantrip called Friends, so they can't be hostile to me. But if I posed as a buyer, or essentially, and then cast Friends on them, I could probably charm some information out of them.
Yeah, I can also. I was thinking like it's probably gonna be a little suspect if a robot comes up trying to buy drugs, right?
Yeah, that's why I should
So,
probably do buying.
but yeah, what I figured is I also have a spell called Zone of Truth that I could just cast from afar, and to
Mm,
make sure that they're not, lying to you. If
yeah,
you
and if worst comes to worst, I have Speak with Dead, so could always do something
True.
like that.
True. Yeah.
Just have to leave their mouth intact.
Uh-huh.
But
So
yeah,
does this mean you're going to the full barrel?
I think we would want to head there first so we can find one of the dealers. What do you think, Ire? Should we go to the streets or there first?
I don't know either way.
So yeah, from what you've been told, the full barrel, they saw one of the dealers enter. You've
Mm-hmm.
also been told that the dealers are likely to have information themselves. So
Yeah.
you guys can take that as you will.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
actually, let me say, Cragar said that he followed a person on Chastor Street and then saw them enter the full barrel. Where's that? Is that where they made the deal?
Yeah, they saw he saw someone make a deal, and then
Hmm.
afterward go to the full barrel and enter.
Okay, so they're
Uh,
probably stationed out of the full barrel.
yeah.
So that's probably, I guess let's try going there first.
If
Okay.
I had to guess and say if we go there, we'll see some.
Yeah, we'll find some
Yeah.
other lead too.
Mhm.
Also we'll tell Devok that we're gonna go out, and if he
Are you
needs
guys
any.
taking Devok?
No, because he's got his own thing to do. But
Okay.
if we're done before nighttime and he needs any help, I'd be willing to help him with what he needs to do.
Well, you
If
do know
that's
that Devok's thing is at midnight.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty late.
So you're gonna invite him?
Yeah, do you want to come? Well, you have to prepare your spells, right?
I guess so. I don't even know what the test is, so I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
were vague, probably intentionally so. So are you gonna go, Devok?
Sure, why not?
So Ire, go ahead and stop real quick. So
Oh.
Yeah,
put you
just don't
back.
burn too many spell slots and you should be fine, right?
All right.
Yeah.
So you approach and you see a relatively large shop. It's got a sign out front that that says the full barrow, or actually it has a picture of a wheelbarrow, and then it says the full barrow on there, and then you can see two large windows, and inside you can see what looks like a bunch of furniture out for display. And you can also see some shelves that seem to have tools and other things on them. You can see to the north some small alley that seems to go between nearby buildings, and the street then continues to the east, and then you can see it also continues around the building to the north. So what do you do?
Hmm. Okay. How do we want to approach this? Seem to be anybody inside. No,
At
never
the
mind.
moment, there you can see that there's some sort of probably shopkeeper, but you don't see any customers inside at the moment.
Okay, so I'm guessing that they're in some type of back room.
You do see a large double doors leading to the north, and then a
Yeah.
smaller back room as well.
Okay, so I'm thinking, Ire, you should probably stay outside. No, I don't know. How do we want to play this, boys?
Mm,
Good question.
I don't know. I don't know if going in the store is on it. Well,
Oh, that's a good point. We don't even need to
yeah,
go in and make our faces known. Why don't we just
yeah.
stake this place out for a little bit
Uh huh.
and follow some of the shady looking characters and see if where they go, and maybe we can nab one of them when they're on their own.
Yeah.
So let's try and hide somewhere.
Yeah. Maybe go in this alley.
More.
So as you go
Just
down the
chill.
alley, you see a bunch of trash and broken boxes, and you can see the buildings nearby. This building over here doesn't seem to be in very good shape. And then finally, you see that where the street continues to the north, you can see large double doors in the back. You can see a thatched building with some barrels, um, and you can kind of see some people kind of sitting in the corners. Look like they're probably beggars or something along those lines. So what do you do?
Hmm.
I think one of us should stay around this corner and see if anyone uses this door,
Yeah.
and one of us should stay over here and watch the
Hmm.
front door. And then
Another
maybe.
piece of information that might be useful is that this is a two-story building.
Ah.
And one of us should stay up high.
Oh,
Yeah.
and Ire, there you did find a
Yeah.
back
There's
door.
another door. Yeah.
Oh, okay then.
I can watch the front if you guys want.
Sure. Where's the other door?
Over here.
Okay. I'll just kind of chill over here then.
And I'll watch this one back here.
I'm gonna try and be more inconspicuous, not just
Okay.
hanging out right by the door. I'll, like,
So
chill
you
right
guys are just kind of hanging out and watching the doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So meanwhile, back at the pawn shop. So um, Pico and everybody, you finally arrive at Dedro's Cheap Jewelry and Antiques. You know you're in the right place because you can see that in gaudy golden letters, and you're pretty sure the gold is completely fake. In large letters, it says Dedro's Cheap Jewelry and Antiques, and then you see a sign at the front saying, "We'll buy old jewelry, and we'll sell it cheap." So what do you do?
Okay. I go ahead and walk in. Oh, wait. Dave, you're saying something?
I figure on the way, you might want to prepare to detect magic again.
Okay. That's not a bad idea. I will go ahead and do another prepare another detect magic, so when we get like right close to it, I'll be able to finish casting.
Okay. All right. So you show up, you cast detect magic, and you're getting a very faint diffuse signal from inside the shop, but you're guessing it's probably not nearly powerful enough for what you're looking for. You see what looks like a scrawny, youngish, middle-aged man who has got stubble and has a bit of a slovenly appearance to him, sitting behind a desk, and you see this gaudy shop full of all sorts of jewelry, and then you see various different like old lamps and tables and such, stuff that looks like it might be antique, but overall you get the impression that this is just random stuff that people wanted to get rid of. A lot of it looks like it's not in great shape. Think 99-cent store.
Okay.
So what do you do?
I go ahead and walk in, or I already walked in. I walked up to the guy.
He waves at you. Welcome to Dedro's Cheap Jewelry and Antiques. What can I interest you in today?
I was wondering if I can be looking at some jewelry.
Oh, sure, of course.
Anything new? Anything that might have come in
Oh, yes.
yesterday?
I got recently some silver rings. What are you looking for in particular?
I would like to see the selection.
Okay, he pulls it out, and you see some basic silver rings. You see some rings that looks like they're polished up to look silver, but probably aren't. But none of them look like your ring. He
Okay,
says,
and
if you're looking for something special, I keep the special things in the back, but we can't just sell them to anybody. So you kind of have to give me an idea of what specifically you're looking for.
thinking of something it's a little more unique. And it is silver, and it might have some blue gems in it.
Oh, is
Might
it
be unique.
is it like a cat head?
It could very well be, yes.
Oh, maybe I got something just like that. And so he pulls out a silver ring, but the first thing you notice is that it's a wolf head or a dog head, although maybe it can be mistaken for a cat. But you notice it doesn't have any gemstones for eyes, and it's definitely not magical. And he says, "Oh, I just got this the other day, and I'll sell it to you for only 30 silver."
Do not believe that is exactly what we're looking for. You can tell very obviously it is a wolf, not a cat. And the gem eyes would be missing. I'd like you to try again, please. Quickly.
Well, I'm afraid that's all I have. He smiles at you.
No, I know he's lying. Can I intimidate, or not intimidate, but
Insight?
Yeah.
Sure.
I know he's lying. Oh, you rat bastard dice.
Could I try and insight too, considering
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
if you guys are there, you guys can participate.
Wow, I can't believe I rolled that badly. Allow me to offer my expert guidance, my opinion on him.
Oh, whoops! I did not mean to do it at advantage.
But
there.
that's an
Sorry.
18, so
Or roll your d4 as well.
So you get the impression that the way he's kind of fidgeting is, number one, he probably was hoping that Ragu didn't notice it wasn't a cat head. And number two, he's clearly seen a ring with blue gemstone eyes in the shape of a cat recently.
I look at Ragu and I just say really out and open, he's lying.
What do you mean I'm lying, miss?
Is this? You said he's kind of a skinny, scrawny guy.
Yeah.
Can I just grab him?
Yep. I'm assuming this is an intimidation attempt.
Yeah, this will be an intimidation check from the roof,
help
from the
and
ceiling.
To help him
Go
out,
ahead.
I'm gonna take out my claws like I did with some guy we did a long time ago, and just kind of be like, if you don't want these on your face, you better start talking.
Okay, so you have advantage, and you can use your
All right.
strength bonus.
Okay. And basically, I'm just grabbing him by like the scruff or collar or his shirt, picking him up and putting his back against the ceiling. So he's just dangling.
Okay, fair enough. Go for it.
Okay.
So you have advantage, and it's using your strength bonus.
Okay. Advantage.
Okay, so that would be
16.
19. Oh no, you already did that. Okay, so but anyway, that is still good enough. So he's like, okay, just put me down. I'll tell you. What do you do?
I set him down on this side of the counter so he can't make a break for it.
Okay, so he's like, okay, I'm sorry, you meant that ring, and not this ring.
Yes,
Okay,
that thing.
well, I already sold it.
Insight.
Go ahead.
I don't know if
I'm
I'm gonna
gonna-
do any good. Go ahead.
I'm going to help Oreo with that insight, and I'm
Thank
going
you.
to offer my expert guidance.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll your
Yeah,
d4.
Okay. Well, it is only a 13, but it is good enough to know that as nervous as the guy is, and the way he's kind of squirm out of Ragu's grip, and the way he's sweating, his hands are sweating profusely, you get the feeling that he's probably not lying.
I think he's telling the truth now, Ragu.
If you tell us who you sold it to, we'll make sure you had nothing to do with this.
Okay, I sold it to this guy. His name is Delore, I think.
God
He was
damn
on
it.
his way. He was on his way somewhere.
the golden dice.
Jesus Christ, are we gonna have to try and get it from the golden dice now? Because he probably use it as a bet.
Either that, or he was going to give it to his girlfriend in the sword
Wouldn't that be
of
annoying?
justice.
You still trying to find Janice? Take me back.
She's that's 6 feet under.
In the meantime, back at the full barrow. All right, so you guys are kind of waiting around, looking at the doors. You do see Ire. You notice a cart pull up, and the cart seems to be full of furniture. It looks like boxes, and there's some shell or some like bookcase-looking things. You can see a cupboards tied to the top, and on top of all of that, you see as it kind of dangles back and forth, some sort of bed tied to it. And at this point in time, the back doors open. I'm going to go ahead and remove the dynamic or the wall door so you can see it. So, Ire, if you move forward a little bit, north a little bit. Yeah, so you can kind of see inside. And this wagon kind of pulls up, and they start unloading this stuff and stacking it on the inside here. And so that's going on. And Devok, you see some looks like fairly ordinary people. People probably live nearby, you would guess. Kind of show up at the store. You see them go inside, and through the window, you can see them starting to look around at the shelves and at the various other pieces of furniture. And Galen, you don't really see anything from there, but you can kind of hear, you can kind of hear people working to the north. So what do you guys do?
Let me take a peek at what they're working on to the north. Very sneakily. I'm gonna be in stealth if I can.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth roll.
This is gonna be bad. Uh.
Okay,
Well,
yeah,
I don't
you're
even have
sneaking
it.
along. Nobody seems to be noticing you. The sound is coming from around the corner, and you peek around, and it's you basically see a wagon here. You see a bunch of people, and they seem to be moving stuff from the wagon through these big doors into some large room, and you can kind of see Ire kind of looking around the corner as well.
Yeah, what are they moving?
It looks like furniture, basically dressers and a bed and some bookcases, that kind of stuff.
Okay. It's in the pillows.
No, no. I mean, yeah, I guess there'd be some pillows with the bed.
No, I'm playing. Okay. I guess that's fairly normal. I'll move back and let Ire just watch so I can stay at my post.
Okay. And Devok, are you doing anything?
I'll stay here and just keep watch.
Okay. And Ire, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna walk around and try and get a better look, acting as normal as a person can act as you walk out of a littered alleyway.
Okay.
You
Go
know.
ahead and give me
Haven't tried to ask
go
for
ahead and give me a
changes.
performance check. See how normal you can act.
I'm pretty performing robot, so let's see. Nice performance.
Okay, so you're going
yeah,
through,
baby.
and you're clearly sneaking around. Or sorry, you're clearly acting normal. You're whistling. Your hands are kind of behind your head, and you seem to be. You catch yourself mumbling, "Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here." And you see some workers turn around. It's like, "Hey, you, get out of the way. We're just moving some stuff inside. We don't want you to get hurt. Well, if you can get hurt. But anyway, move out of the way. You're in the way. What do you do?"
Oh, I'm in the. Oh, are you guys moving something dangerous? And I'm just gonna not step too far forward. Just want to take a little peek inside and try and see what I can.
You do. You see what looks like furniture and boxes.
Boxes.
Yeah,
Boxes.
furniture, boxes, and a couple of barrels.
All right. All right. You guys have a good day moving boxes or whatever.
All right. Well, and please stay out of the way in the future.
Uh-huh.
Galen, you heard all that, by the way. And you see Ire kind of coming around the corner towards you.
Hello, I am an unsuspecting robot that would know nothing about anything. Hello.
Meanwhile, all right. So Pico and Oreo and Ragu, you're still at the store. What are you guys doing?
How late is it right now?
It's probably early afternoon.
Golden Dice isn't open now, right?
Not normally.
Do you guys remember where that guy is usually at? What was his apartment or his quarters or whatnot?
We do know he got reassigned and everything, so he's not the gate guard anymore.
We could ask at the Barrett. Wait, no. We could ask Carl because. Yeah, 'cause I think we. Yeah, because they made some arrangements to try to be lenient on him, so we could find out what happened to Delore there. Also, maybe we should make sure that Delore is not some common name, kind of like John or Bob or something.
Yeah, maybe we should
Turns
be
out
doing that
there's
before.
3,000
Hold on.
Delores.
We're still at the shop.
Yeah, you're still at the
3,000
shop.
dollars. 3,000
Okay.
dollars that happen to go to the same Golden Dice to probably bet off a bunch of money or for other. Yeah, I don't
Wait a
think.
second. Minor illusion Dolores' face. We know him well.
Okay.
I minor delusion Dolores' face in my hand, kind of like a picture. I say, is this Delore or somebody else?
Yes, that's him. And Yeah, he was heading somewhere deeper in the red light district.
When did you see him last?
Oh, that would have been last night.
And
No,
you guys,
it would have been yeah, it would have been probably around 6 or 7 last night.
you guys didn't see his face in the golden dice, did you?
Mm-mm.
You didn't, however, you didn't go in all the rooms either, so he might have been
Yeah,
there.
I know. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just asking them because they were actually more in the place than I was, or at least I wasn't paying attention. All
Yeah,
right.
I didn't go anywhere except the 2 rooms.
Yeah, we can. Well, you can at least let this one live for a little bit longer, and we can
You
we
say
can talk
I
more
kind of
outside.
want to do I kind of want to do something with this guy because he shouldn't be buying stolen property, and on the
Hey,
other
no,
10, let's just.
it's not stolen. It was bring it. People bring it in,
Oh
and
no, that wasn't in character. That wasn't in
oh,
character.
okay, never mind.
That was out of
Well,
character. That was out of character.
but even out of character, though, it's still a good point.
Yeah.
He actually bought something that was legitimately attained by creditors, and there's no easy way for a lot of these people to tell whether something's stolen or not. It's kind of how cooperative they are with authorities is where things get to be an issue. And admittedly, we're not exactly official authorities, so I think we kind of need to give this guy a pass, even if he is kind
Okay.
of scummy.
Excellent point. I'll just grind my teeth. I'll grind my teeth and leave. Okay.
But one
We
thing,
must find the
what
lore.
as we're leaving though, I look at the guy and say, "But what happened here didn't happen, right?"
Oh, what are you talking about?
Oh, like I said, he's not involved.
No, you're not. Okay, let's
No,
go.
but she was making sure he's not going to tell other people about us.
Right.
That's what she did. Yeah.
Oh, well, if he wanted to be involved, he could do that.
He said, yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Good, neither do we.
Okay,
All
as we're
right.
heading out, so one or two things. We can either try and like get that guy before nighttime because I don't know if he's already gotten rid of the thing in the past 24 hours, or we can try an alternative because I still have a set of keys in my apartment for a certain illegal looking casino up freaking village that we can try and look at while it's still off hours.
Yeah. Let's see if we can find Delore. If he still has it by any hope, it would be easiest to be getting it off him.
Just keep in mind though that the time it might take us to just find him might be around the time that the thing also ends up getting opened. So we won't really have a
Yeah.
shot to look at the golden dice because if they end up using it or I don't know what happens with that ring once it's in their hands, then our chances of getting it back are pretty slim. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Although, what time does the Golden Dice open? Wasn't it normally really late, like after it was dark?
Yeah, normally it's when it's dark. Yeah.
Yeah, but how
And
long is it gonna take us to see if we can even trace down the guy? Because I don't know how long it took us just to get him the first time.
We know where his apartment is and we know his bosses. We can just go straight to his boss and say, "Hey, where's Delore?"
Okay, let's do that then right now. Then we'll go there.
Yeah.
All right. So where are you going?
All right. Where are we exactly? Let's see here.
You are up here.
Okay, and that's actually really close to this gate, right?
Yeah.
And which gate is Delore assigned to, or was he no longer assigned to a
We
gate?
don't know. We don't know that. We just want to go to the barracks where his potential boss, his last boss, was had him assigned or whatnot. The
Well, you
guy that
know,
we were
he
speaking
used to
to.
be assigned to the West Barracks, which is here.
yeah,
Well, my idea was simply that we can go to this specific gate because they have gate guards and horses and stuff like that. And we can say we need Delore, and they can say, well, we don't have him. And then we can say, okay, we're taking your horses. We can drop them off there, and then we can take the horses and get down to the barracks a lot quicker.
Okay, go for it.
No, yes, no. I heard a groan.
well, I
Is
don't
that the
know if
bad
they're
idea?
necessarily going to give us horses, but it seems like it'd make more sense to just aim directly at the barracks, because going to a place where they don't have any authority. I mean, because the barracks is where the leader guy was, and he would have been the one to turn, Delore over to the custody of somebody else.
That's what I
So
thought.
I think the West
Okay.
Garrison's the best bet to go to first.
Yes, but can we get there faster on a horse or not on a horse was my point.
It probably won't make much difference because the streets tend to be clogged up. So being on a
Okay.
horse or not in the city doesn't really make that much of a difference unless you have cargo to transfer.
Okay. I
Plus,
thought we could actually
that's
get there
if they
faster.
gave us horses, which I don't think we could count on.
Don't count on them. Let's go
All right.
brisk walk. Brisk walk.
All right.
Let's go. Come on.
Jog.
All right. So you jog and you try to get there faster. So you're trying to find a fast route through the people.
Which I should be able to help in a way because I know the map, like one of the skills I've got is around the map of this damn city, which I've yet to use in this entire campaign, and we're like 33 sessions in or something like that.
Okay.
So
So which skill is that?
it's the let me see here, the let me check here again. It's regional navigation. I
Okay.
put it with
Yep. Go ahead
Ithalon,
and
but yeah.
yep. Go ahead and make a roll on that DC 10.
Oh, then I
And I
automatically
will.
win because it's
You automatically win. Okay, then you win. So yeah, you managed to find the shortest route. So instead of taking at least half an hour to get there, you get there in 15 minutes, and you have arrived. So you've arrived at the barracks. So what do you do?
Um, whoever is in charge, we would know who that is.
Well, it should be the one guy.
I don't remember the
Yeah,
guy's
I mean,
name,
if
so
there's
you
like
guys are
an
gonna have to.
official-looking desk or something.
So okay, so you're just trying to find somebody in charge.
Is Captain Razgar here?
Oh, you hear you ask a guard, and he says, "Oh no, he actually retired a while ago. He apparently he joined one of the noble houses as a house guard. Something about not putting up with his tarnished honor. Some issue between him and the city lord and city council."
Who
Probably those
succeeded
idiots
him?
put novices in charge of a investigation.
I think it has something to do with them going to outside help with something and not trusting him to deal with it properly. Anyway, if you we don't have a captain on site, but we do have a lieutenant who's available. So
Yes.
follow me, please. And he takes you inside, and you recognize one of the lieutenants. Let me find them. You recognize Brettel Lasdell, which was a lieutenant for the Northwest Gate. Although, given the recent changes, who knows what she's doing now? But you see her dealing with some other guards, speaking with them, and then you're taken to her. And she turns around, and what do you? Oh, I remember you. I remember you talking about Delore and so on. What,
Yes.
a month and a half ago or so, maybe? I don't remember. So what?
Probably more like 3.
Oh, is that long
And
already? Wow, time really flies. Anyways, what do you?
as
Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry, I was gonna say, as much as time flies, some things never change. We need to find the Lord before he inadvertently gets himself into trouble through no real fault of his own except stupidity yet again. You know what I mean?
She sighs. Yes. So here's the thing. He's he's not actually a city guard anymore. Um, he, I think you're familiar with it. He got into some trouble, and he managed to get away from that with just very minor issues. So it was surprising considering it has something to do with a major security issue. I think you guys would know about it. Anyway, Anyway, so he's not he was found not fit to be a city guard, and so yeah, what is it you need from him?
Well,
Uh,
we needed to find out. Well, I mean, he was in custody here. We just need to find out where he ended up afterwards. We're trying to track him down.
yeah.
Um,
Where is his
I
exact location? Do
believe
you know?
I believe that he got a job at that place he really liked. What was it called?
The Golden Dice.
I think that's right. I think he actually got a job there.
Oh god.
Wow.
This turned into a Looney Tunes mini mission, dude. What the fuck?
Oh yeah. Yes.
That's all, folks.
Ah.
Okay.
You
Let's
might
go
find
get
him there now. I don't think the place is open, but maybe you can ask for him since he works there.
Yes. We're gonna do that. We're gonna go
enough.
knock on the door. Employee at the freaking Golden.
In the meantime, back at the full barrow. All right, so yeah, there's been some Galen and Iyer and Davok. There's been some movement inside and out, but you haven't really seen anybody but customers come and go. You saw the people moving stuff and moving stuff in, but it's been pretty quiet so far. So what are you guys gonna do?
Alright, I'm gonna group up with the boys. Let's go grab Devok.
Yeah, you guys want to.
Let's either just go in or head to a street.
Yeah, I think we should go look for potential suspects.
Like on one of the streets or in
Yeah,
the,
on a street.
yeah, because I don't want to go into the store and just be like,
I feel like the
drugs?
store. Yeah, I feel like the store is gonna end up being a covert operation.
yeah, definitely, I agree. And none of us are. Actually, Devok might be.
No.
No.
I've had your armor back.
You say that as Davok clinks as he moves
Yeah,
around.
yeah, right. Okay. Let's flip a coin. What's 1 to 2 is Chat Store Street?
What? Okay.
Chasto
Chat,
Street or
yeah.
The other one.
We have Sewer Street and Bar Street.
Alright, let's go to the second one.
Which one's that?
Barstead Street.
Okay, fair enough.
Street time.
All right, let me add Davok to the picture. All right, so you basically see the street that is heading north to south, and you can see kind of like where the street branches to the east and then continues to the south. And one thing you notice is that you see some urchins and some kids running around, but you don't notice anybody. But the street isn't as busy as a lot of the other streets are. And actually, let me make sure I have this guy over here.
Oh, stop moving, Iyer. He needs to place the dealer.
Just an inconspicuous robot walking down the street.
So what you wind up seeing is you're going across, and you see this kind of dead end this direction, and you can see that there is this halfling that is speaking to what looks like a scraggly street urchin. I don't really have a good icon for him.
Just use the Vox icon.
Yeah, we'll use this one.
Rude. That's racist.
Listen, I'm not. Sorry, good.
So yeah, so you see this halfling animatedly talking to this. It looks like kind of run down, kind of slumped over adult, but he's has clearly tattered clothing. Looks like he sleeps on the streets probably, and then you see him kind of reaching for his pouch. So what do you guys do?
Well, let's just hang back while they make
Mm-hmm.
the deal.
I got my
Alright.
binoculars, stake out
No,
the scene.
no, no.
All right, so you see him hold out a pouch, and you see the halfling take it, and then he hands back a small white bag. White as in it's basically looks like it's made out of cloth or something, but it's a very white kind of cloth. And then you see a small blue marking in the center of the bag, like a small circle. And then he hands him the little bag, and then you see the street urchin kind of start moving your direction. So what do you guys do?
Oh shit, he's coming.
Natural.
I'm gonna go start heading to the dealer. I'm gonna
Mhm.
cast friends on him and try to get information. After friends is done, he's gonna know I cast friends on him, and he's probably gonna try and murder me. So when that happens, help me deal with this guy.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm staking out the scene. Just
So
smile and wave,
Don't
boys.
don't push up with me. He's gonna get scared.
So you see the street urchin kind of moving past you. He kind of looks at you. What are you guys doing as he's passing by? Are you trying to act natural, or what are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to go.
Let's act like we're in a conversation, Iron.
Yes. Well, you see,
Okay,
those.
you guys can both give me a group
You're the
roll.
worst.
It's going to be, it's probably going to be deception or performance. You guys can pick. Each of you can roll either deception or performance, and you basically both have to succeed in order to be convincing.
I think it's important that I mention that my score is -1 in both of those.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh no, I didn't mean to use.
Okay, so that's a 13 and a 6, and the DC was 10. And so as the urchin's going by, he notices Davak speaking in this very kind of artificial and robotic way almost, which is kind of ironic with the automata there speaking more
Hey.
naturally.
Are you mocking me right now?
And,
Yes,
and you see him, it's like, oh, no, don't tell anybody, and he starts running. I didn't do anything. Galen, you
What's
see all
guy's
that,
problem?
and you notice as you look back, Galen, that the dealer seems to be sneaking between buildings.
After her.
Oh no, don't chase,
Yeah.
don't chase.
Okay, don't.
Wait,
Are you sure?
wait,
I can summon my mighty steed and follow her on foot.
So what are you doing,
Hold
Galen?
on. I'm gonna call out and be like, hold on, wait.
Give me some drugs.
I really need a fix.
I'm
Please don't
fainting.
go.
Okay, go ahead and give me a persuasion check then.
Oh, this is where we're at, boys.
So how's the weather?
Well, it would appear today that the weather forecast is a
Oh
clear
no, I
and
have a +7
sunny.
too.
Oh,
Wow. You can see him
Okay.
say, you just see him just kind of going between the buildings, and it gets very thin, but being a halfling, he's able to kind of just squeeze through, but you think that you'll probably not be able to follow him very well.
He knows who we are. Would we be able
Shall
to
I summon my
on
steed?
the other side? Maybe.
Summon your steed.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's summon the steed and get us over to the other side. We got a half
Steed,
window.
to me!
To
And I
you.
cast Find
the
Steed.
To me, Steve.
To me. I can also do that, but an undead one.
Okay, you
And-
summon a steed, and the steed's too big to fit between the buildings, so what are you guys going to do?
Oh, shit.
Oh shit! Fuck. We gotta go. Boys, we
Make
gotta
it
go.
fit.
Where are you going?
That away. Ride.
Okay,
You know
you
this
ride down
area?
the street.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
there's a dead end over here.
now the street keeps going, and then you wind up just riding into the city. Are you attempting? I guess you're attempting to ride your way around where you guys guess he's going to pop out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So that would be a navigation check, I think.
I'm a map maker of sorts.
So go ahead and give me yeah, you can give me a cartography roll. Maybe you might know the layout of the city well enough.
Aha!
You do. You actually loop around, and you find the halfling kind of pop out on the building on the other side. He looks around. He's about to. He's starting to take a breath, like I lost him, and then you show up on your steed.
All right, let's grab this guy and find an abandoned house.
Whoop whoop.
So I'm gonna go. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is put him back in the alley. Put you guys back in the alley, and technically you're in a different spot, but that way at least everybody's on the map.
All right, well, so much for being friends, but we can still get this information from him.
He's okay. So he stops and it's like, oh, okay, what do you want? I didn't do anything.
Look, man,
Yeah.
we don't care about any of that. All right, all we want to know is what you know. Why?
Hold on, I'm gonna cast a spell real quick. Zone of Truth.
Okay,
Just
what does
want
that
to
do?
know.
I'll put it in chat. But basically, if he tells a lie, he has to roll a charisma saving throw.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead, Galen.
We want to know why there's so many nobles buying from you, and we want to know who's supplying you. We don't care about you.
He puts up his hands and it's like, hey, look. Okay, I'm selling the stuff. Okay, it's true. All I know is that I'm just told to sell it. I don't know about any nobles. There's every once in a while at night I'll go to the Full Barrow and they'll give me more of it to sell. And he basically rips out a piece of paper, the folded out of his pocket, and it rips as he pulls it out. He shoves it at you, and he says, "Here, take it," and he runs.
Well, no, he doesn't get to leave yet.
Okay, so what are you gonna do?
I grab him.
All right, I'll grab him.
Okay,
Get
go
over
ahead
here.
and make an attack. A melee attack.
Man.
Not
just
to do
like-
damage, just to see if you can get him before he takes off.
Okay. Oh.
You go to grab him, but he's a halfling. He's small. He jinks out of the way and keeps going.
He's
Well,
not-
I yell after him. If you tell your bosses about us, we'll find you.
No, wait, hold on. I have a
Okay.
solution.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh
He's
no,
wanted
you don't
now.
have to do that.
It is an action. So he gets to make a Constitution saving throw. Okay, let me go ahead and do that. So what are you trying to do?
Make him blind.
Okay, fair enough.
How long does that last?
1 minute.
Oh,
What
Jeez.
is the what's your spell save? Oh, never mind. He failed.
oh gosh.
My spell save for the future is 14.
It was so close.
All right,
Yeah.
so he's running, and then suddenly Davok chants a few words, and suddenly he trips on a rock, lands on his face. You see him reaching toward his eyes. I'm blind. I'm blind. What do you do?
All right, let's walk up to him and. we have
And
to
now I'll
finish this
grab him.
conversation.
Okay, you do so.
If you tell us the truth, you will be no longer blind. But if you don't, you'll be blind forever.
Well, he told the truth. I
I'll
had
tell-
Zone
I'll
of
tell him
Truth
that.
up, so.
Yeah, he had Zone of Truth.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So it's fine. But what I will say is that you cannot tell your bosses about us, and also we're taking this ring down, so it's probably best for you to skip town. Also, I'm gonna now search you for all of your drugs because we're taking.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm gonna take all his drugs
Yeah, we're taking all of his stuff.
for
Okay.
examination at a
You
later date.
find you search him, and you find that 16 small sacks.
Hmm.
Kind of all tied around his belt. You have the paper that he tore already, but you also see a small note that he had in his pocket.
Okay, I'm taking that 'cause it ripped. I want to read them, but I also want to be still asking him a couple more questions, like, what are the names of your bosses and colleagues?
It's like, my boss is the supplier, and
Yeah.
I only know Arlington.
Arlington?
Who's Arlington?
Write that down. Write that down.
He works on Barsteed Street. He's like me. Well, not like me, but he does the same kind of thing I do.
And
Okay.
what is the name of the supplier?
The supplier.
What's his
That's-
name?
Give me the name.
The
now.
supplier.
What's his name?
That's what he tells me. It's obviously not his real name, but he didn't tell me his real name. Why would he tell me his real name? He starts freaking out. He starts crying. Of course he's not going to tell me his real name. I don't know his real name.
That's fair.
All right,
Fair.
where's your stash? I know you got a stash somewhere.
I know you got a stash.
This is all I got. They don't allow us to keep a lot on our own.
Yeah.
All
All right.
I do
Well,
have one question.
no, you
Which
don't.
one of you guys is
not.
Von Walsh?
What?
You're not here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here! Get out of my head!
Here,
Get out of my head!
disembodied voice, Eco.
What was
Hey,
Get
you
out of
got-
here, disembodied.
you guys want to
voice.
know my horse's name?
What?
Yeah, I do.
His name's Tempest.
That's
Oh.
a pretty good horse name.
Good name.
Halfling, do you think that's a good name for a horse?
Yeah, he does.
Anyway,
Yeah,
he's
he
just
does.
kind of blubbering at this point.
All right, let him go. Don't tell anybody about this, or we'll find you and turn you into drugs or something.
Okay, so there, like I said before, you have a torn map. The map, the name on the map is Kensing Carpentry, and on the note, you see it says, "Remember the new passcode starts with 391."
Okay.
What does it end with? Hey, wait! Before we let him go, what does the passcode end with?
You've already let him go.
No.
All right. Well, we'll deal with that when we get there. We can always ask Arlington, or just go up to the gate.
Yeah,
and
we'll
be like,
we'll
"It's
beat
391
up
something,
Arlington.
I forgot. I'm all strung out or something.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be the end of the session.
All right.
Successful session.
And we will continue on
already?
next time. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock.
That
That
did
was
not
fast.
seem like yeah.
So
The
I'm going to
group was
go.
split up and everything. That was fast.
So
Oh,
yeah,
we did a lot actually.
I'm going to go ahead and move you back to the map, and then we'll set up experience points. If I can remember where I put experience points, there it is. Alrighty, so that will be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14 times 140. Okay, so that'll be there. Sorry, so let me go ahead and get this stuff together real quick.
No problem.
And then treasure would be 280. Actually, we'll do that, and then we'll take away from there. 1820. And K 00. All right, and then finally for the total. Come on. Sorry, my calculator decided that I wanted to be in binary.
Understandable.
I use a programming calculator, and I accidentally clicked the wrong button. There we go.
I'd be more surprised if it didn't end up in binary.
All right, so as far as meaningful failures go, Oreo, I don't think you had any, right?
Again, if skills don't count, then I think I might have failed a perception check at some point, but I don't know again if consequence if skills don't matter.
Yeah, it has to be something where it does matter if there's meaningful consequence for failure.
Like we screwed up stealth, but we succeeded at that.
All right, Pico, do you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
anything?
Not really. Because I made my climbing, I made my stealth. From what I see, Ire may have failed a roll to grab a halfling and some sort of performance check.
Yeah, I definitely
Yeah,
failed
he got
too.
the full 280. Ragu, did you fail anything? Yeah, you
I
did.
had some
You
major. Yeah,
you
it's
failed a couple times. Okay, and Devok,
yeah.
did you?
Yes, performance.
Okay, and what about Galen?
I failed one, which was
Your
persuasion.
persuasion check.
That's
Yeah,
true.
the thing I'm supposed to be good
And
at.
that did have meaningful consequences. So, all right.
Yeah.
So here we go. So, oh, wrong. Hold on. One more minor thing. This is session 31. All right. So 2,240 experience points, 140 from encounters, 280 for treasure, and 1,820 for exploration, which basically includes all the clue finding and everything. And then Ragu and Ire, you get your 280 from your failure, learning by failure. Devok and Galen, you get 140.
Cool.